Trust me, you haven't heard of him.
Try me. I have a radio in my car. I stay current.
His name's 50 Cent.
How do you spell that?
50, like the number, cent.
Wouldn't that be 50 cent?
Everyone calls him 50 Cent. That's just what he's called.
What is that?
That would be 50 cent. Apparently the second F is silent.
I'll take it.
But, Mom, Victor gave that to me.
Lauren, we've talked about this. I want to listen to it first.
No one else's parents care what they listen to. This is totally unfair.
Totally. Moving on. I'd like you to explain this homework to me.
What about it? It's a vocabulary sheet.
Yeah, I looked at it last night. It was a perfect vocabulary sheet. What happened?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Since when does chivalrous mean to feel chilly? And momentous does not mean to have big mountains.
So, I made a mistake. People make mistakes, right, Grandma?
Stay out of this. Lauren, why did you change these answers?
We're gonna be late for school.
Lauren.
Because last time I got 100, I was the only one in the class, and Mrs. Kaplan made a big, huge deal out of it and put my paper up on the bulletin board.
How awful for you.
See, you don't get it. Everyone was talking about me, and at lunch, Melissa Bland started calling me Sister Suck-Up and Foreign Lauren.
What? That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't matter. It rhymes. Even Victor was laughing.
So this was your solution? You deliberately wrote wrong answers to impress the dumb students?
I knew you wouldn't understand.
You're right. I don't. Get in the car. Do you hear all that? See what she's becoming?
Ever since she was born, I warned you about the gangrene years. Had you listened, you wouldn't be surprised now. What are you looking for?
I had some brochures over here.
I didn't want the plumber to see them.
There is nothing wrong with private school, Mom.
Says a public school student who went to Harvard and became a judge.
Well, that's different. I was good in school. Lauren is totally disinterested.
Then, by all means, spend $10,000 a year so she could be totally disinterested wearing a uniform. Over the line?
Yeah, a little bit.
Merriweather Academy? You're serious?
I'm just taking a tour of the place. I'm not signing her up. She couldn't start till next year anyway. Why is this such a big deal?
It's not. It's just that I didn't know you had your heart set on turning into a Republican.
The Kennedys all went to private schools.
You want to turn into a Kennedy?
Judge Gray,
Mr. McLaren,
how are you?
I'm, still vertical.
I'm David McLaren.
Bruce Van Exel.
Nice to meet you. Well, it's, nice to see you vertical. Would you excuse me? I have a... Thanks.
Still vertical?
I get nervous.
Why?
I don't know. He makes me nervous. Don't you have people in your life who make you nervous for no reason?
Do I look like I have people who make me nervous for no reason?
I do not understand. I always go to that meeting.
Uh-huh. You always write a letter to the commissioner the next day apologizing for your behavior.
I do not.
Well, that's right. I always write the letter of apology and sign your name to it.
You're joking.
Oh, I wish I were, Maxine. We're trying something new this year. It's a pilot program. It's called You Stay in the Office While I Go to the Budget Meeting by Myself.
Maxine, a woman named Carrie White appears to be staging a sit-in at your desk.
Miss White, this is unexpected.
What did you do with my kid?
You were present at, Kayla's court hearing?
Yeah, and the judge said he was putting her in that group home on Martell Avenue.
Until you have a certified 6 months of sobriety.
So where the hell is she?
Let's settle down. I'll get you some water.
I don't want your water. I want to know where Kayla's at. I went over to the damn home, and that troll at the desk never heard of her.
When was this?
Yesterday, I went by on my way back from my meth clinic. I wanted to show Kayla that I was doing good, how I quit using and everything, but she wasn't there.
Well, I'm sure there's some explanation. Maybe the woman at the desk is new.
She checked with her manager. They looked at the computer, at the roster, everything. And my kid's not there. And I want to know where the hell she is.
Okay, Jason Richards, Rachel Byler are both minors seeking sole custody of their daughter Ellie, born 4 months ago. Their requests have been filed by their parents and joined for hearing. Is that about right?
It is, Your Honor.
Seems relatively straightforward.
Not for long.
Are they in the right courtroom?
Your Honor, these are members of the Byler family?
I take it that the Byler family is Amish,
That's correct.
which would make Miss Byler herself Amish,
Yes.
which would mean I'm a little confused. Since when do Amish teenagers have babies out of wedlock?
They don't. But Rachel met Jason and became pregnant during Rumspringa.
Okay, still confused?
It's a rite of passage. During Rumspringa, Amish teens are allowed to spend time out in the modern world before deciding whether to reject it.
And while they're out there deciding, they're what, out there partying with the rest of teenage America?
Basically, yes. Until they figure out whether they want to return to the church. Rachel left her community several months after she met Jason. And she's been living with his family in Hartford for most of this past year.
And you wish to return to your community, Miss Byler?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
The Bylers are willing to assume complete financial responsibility for Ellie.
So are the Richards.
My client has been Ellie's sole caretaker for the last 4 months.
Because my client has been going to school and working to support his child and her mother.
Well, whatever the reason, we can demonstrate that the child's attachment is to Ms. Byler. And Ms. Byler feels that her and the baby are best served living with her large extended family.
All of whom live in houses without electricity and drive buggies.
Mr. Richards.
Our family can provide that baby a normal life.
That's enough. Okay, I see both sides have entered written evaluations from child psychologists into evidence, so that means I have some reading to do. We will reconvene at what time, Mr. Van Exel?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock it is. Thank you.
Dr. Kaufman, 4666.
McCarty!
Dr. Kaufman, 4666.
There you are.
You know what, Todd? I find it irritating that you run around yelling McCarty like we're working at a fast food restaurant.
Oh, is that what they do at fast food restaurants? I've never worked at one.
I don't know where you were before, but there's a certain protocol around here that Lily established.
Oh, yeah. Now, look, we just got a 10-year-old boy in with 3 fingers severed in a biking accident. Now, the kid's grandmother is on her way down right now, but she just called from her cell phone to tell us that he's HIV positive.
And we need to get a doctor for infectious disease down here.
I just paged her. Let's go on and do a full intake, administer Ancef 60 milligrams, okay? Oh, and thanks for that protocol update. I'm gonna take that to heart, really.
Kayla White, Kayla. You're not serious. WHITE, like the house. The President's house. Of the United States of America. One nation, arguably, under God.
Maxine, I found her.
Listen, this has been edifying, but I have to say goodbye. Where is she?
You're not gonna like it.
Is she in the morgue?
No.
Then I assure you, I will like it.
Clarksport Institute.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. Clarksport is a psychiatric facility.
I told you weren't gonna like it. See, you're probably thinking what I thought, which is someone found her on the street, she mouthed off, they locked her up for 24 hours on a 5150, but that's not it.
Then what is it?
She was transferred there from the group home. Because of the budget cuts, the state sent her there to live.
Dwayne. Hi, I'm Dr. McCarty.
I said my grandma's coming.
She's on her way. How are you feeling?
Is it true what the nurses said? You've got my fingers in a fridge somewhere?
Believe it or not, that's the best and safest place to keep them.
And you can put them back on, right? Like nothing ever happened?
Dwayne, listen to me. Dwayne, hey. Look, I know this is scary, man, but you've got the best doctors, and we're gonna do everything we can.
What are you waiting for? You're the doctor, right?
I'm one of the doctors, but in your case, we need another doctor, a special doctor, to make sure that no one else gets sick while we're making you better. You understand?
Because I've got HIV.
That's right.
Just tell me you can fix my fingers. The HIV, that's one thing. No one can see it. But if I don't get all my fingers, I don't want to stay like this.
As soon as the other doctor gets here, we're gonna get started.
first told me she was Amish, I thought it was a joke. We met at a keg party. There wasn't a whole lot of Amish coming off her. But then Rachel explained to me this Rumspringa thing, how you're supposed to use this time to decide if you want to be Amish.
And had she already made her decision?
Yeah, she said she wanted to stay. She didn't want to go back.
But that was before I really knew what it was like living out here and before I had my baby.
Miss Byler, you'll have your turn.
Look, I wanted her to stay. I told her, I'm making some money now. She could have lived with me and my dad, but Rachel's dead set on going back. And that's her choice, but I can't let her take Ellie with her. I don't want my kid to be like them. I mean, Rachel is the best-hearted person, but the way she grew up, it's really set her back.
Mr. Richards, I can't help but notice you keep looking at your father. Is there something he needs to say to me?
No.
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
What my son is dancing around is a simple fact. This is a very, very sweet girl, but her upbringing has crippled her. There's no other way to put it. In the real world, she's unable to hold a job.
Objection, Your Honor. The real world.
I get it, Mr. Lippman. Continue, Mr. Richards.
I tried to employ Rachel at my office, but I had to fire her after 2 weeks. She didn't know how to use a computer. She had never even seen a calculator, and she barely evidenced a 6th grade education. Your Honor, if Ellie goes back with them, we will never see her again. And I admit, this is partly selfish. I don't want to lose her. But more than that, I don't want my son to lose his child. He doesn't know what kind of pain that will be.
Thank you.
Yes, I left a message. I left 3 messages, which makes this my 4th message. When you finally do locate Dr. Garner, will you tell him for the 4th time that we need him down here stat?
Big M.
You know what? I actually prefer McCarty.
Whatever. Why isn't the Johnston kid in the OR?
I've been trying to get infectious disease down here for hours.
How long have the kids' fingers been on ice?
It was 3 hours before they even got here. I'd say we're going on 7 hours and counting.
They're only going to be viable for another 2 hours, tops. I can't keep waiting. Let's just go ahead.
Without the infectious disease consult?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You know these aren't just guidelines, right? This kid is HIV positive. You want the infectious disease guy in the room.
It's hospital red tape is what it is. It's legal nonsense. You want to see this kid lose his fingers?
No, of course not. And if you knew me better, you'd know that I'm the last person in the world to give a flying crap about red tape. But if there's one thing that I learned from Lily...
Hey, Kyle, when you look at me, do you see a 30-year-old blonde with some dark roots?
No.
And when we're alone together, do you have an overwhelming urge to throw me on the floor and rip my clothes off?
Again, no.
Okay, then. So we're clear. I'm not Lily. Use triple gloves at all times. Take all standard precautions. Come on, let's get this kid prepped.
Sorry, visitors are not allowed in this area.
No, you misunderstand. I am not a visitor. I am Caleb White's social worker.
Well, only family members are allowed.
Let me be clear. Caleb White is a ward of this state. That makes me her mother and her father and her Uncle Matthew. Now show me where she is, or I will use whatever small power I have to make your life as difficult and disagreeable as I am able.
Do you think you can threaten me?
I believe I just did.
The girl you're talking about, she's in the infirmary.
Oh, dear God.
Why did you let this happen?
Kayla, I just heard about it. Who did that to you? Kayla?
My roommate. She just went full out psycho and started wailing on me in the middle of the night.
And so you put restraints on her?
It's standard procedure after an altercation. We put them on all patients in the infirmary. What are you doing?
She's not a patient. She's a 14-year-old foster child. The state has been housing illegally here.
You have no authority to do that. I'm calling security.
Fine. Tell them we'll meet them in the lobby. Kayla, I'm here to help you.
I told them I'm not crazy. I told them when they brought me in, but they wouldn't listen to me.
Well, they should have. Kayla, come with me. Okay, you're okay.
I'd share custody with Jason if I could. But there's just no way.
Why is that?
Because I'm going back to be baptized next month. Once I become a member of the church, I'm required to break off all contact me and my baby have with the English world. Even with Jason. I have to. It's a condition of joining the church.
And if you continue to have contact with Mr. Richards after you're baptized?
They freeze her out. Rachel and Ellie, they abandon them both.
Mr. Richards, you've had your turn.
No, he's right. If I ever saw Jason again, or Ellie did, it would be considered an unforgivable sin.
That seems unduly harsh. Mr. Byler, is this true? You would not allow Rachel to maintain contact with Ellie's father?
It's not just me, it's the community. Our tradition is one of separation. It's what defines us. And if Rachel continued to have contact with this English boy, we would have no choice but to shun her.
And when you say shun...
The community would turn its back on Rachel and Ellie. They would be sent to live by themselves. Our family would be prevented from talking to them or even talking about them.
See, this is what you're sending Ellie back to. It's like a cult.
Mr. Richards...
What does it sound like to you? Look, I know what this is about. She's afraid that we won't be able to take care of her by ourselves, that we won't have the money.
You keep saying that, but it's not about money. It's more than that. I can't live the way people live here. It's too lonely. Everything moves too fast. I miss my family. I want Ellie to know them.
What about my family?
Jason, you barely have a family. Your mother lives somewhere in Florida. Your father's home too, maybe 3 nights a week.
For God's sake, he's being penalized because I work hard?
I grew up with 8 brothers and sisters. My grandmother still lives with us. If you let my family take her, Ellie will never have to come home to an empty house. Or even a babysitter. And no, she won't learn how to use a computer or drive a car, but she will learn other things. My father will wake her up in the middle of the night to see a newborn calf. She will go to sleep to the sound of the rain on the wheat, under a quilt made by all the women, with a prayer in every stitch. How can anyone call that an inferior life?
I understand you're crowded. All the facilities are crowded. But it's just one bed for one small girl and... Hello? Hello? That was my 18th call. I believe that's actually a new record. Apparently there are no existing beds anywhere, no matter how small the girl. And you want to know why that is?
Because my friend the commissioner...
Because your friend the commissioner doesn't know how to allocate his funds.
He's not my friend.
Let me go to that budget meeting tomorrow. He needs to be made aware.
It's not my decision. Commissioner called last week, asked that you not attend.
He said me, specifically.
He spelled your name. Good night.
Are you angry? Because if you're angry, we can talk tomorrow.
I'm not angry.
Well, you look angry. I just took a call from a private placement, a couple named the Cliffords. They say they've dealt with you for 15 years and they'd be willing to take Kayla just based on that.
Bless you.
There's more.
And this must be the bad news.
I kind of did an informal survey of our residential facilities. This whole thing is worse than you thought. This past week, another 12 girls have been transferred to Clarksport. These are their files.
Hey, listen to this. I'm into having sex. I ain't into making love. So come give me a hug if you into getting rubbed.
Welcome to the world of 50 Cent.
You know him?
Not personally. But he is on Rebecca's Things to Annoy My Dad with list.
I tried to listen to the CD. Couldn't make out a single word. Had to go online to find the lyrics. So come give me a hug if you into getting rubbed. That's what Lauren's listening to.
Here's my theory. You can complain about it, and it'll be a 2-year phase. Or you can ignore it, and it'll be a 2-month phase.
Or you can do this.
And then she'll download it, and the FBI will be at your door.
You know what? Maybe I'd be doing Baby Byler a favor if I shipped her off to Lancaster, where she'd never see MTV or have a boyfriend at age 11.
Good. I was hoping we moved to the ex parte portion of this conversation.
Okay, hypothetical. When you saw Witness, didn't it make you want to go live there and grow a beard and go to a barn raising?
No. But I did want to put Sam Cooke on the car stereo and dance with Kelly McGillis in the Halo.
See?
I think this is more about Lauren Cassidy than it's about Baby Byler.
You know what? You're religious. Why does God do this? Pump them full of time-released hormones and turn them into monsters when they hit puberty?
I think the theological reason is so we'll be glad to see them leave for college.
That's it? That's all you got?
Look, don't worry about the Byler case. You're just rusty from slumming up there in criminal.
And my hormone-infested daughter?
Okay, take a deep breath. And remind yourself there's worse stuff coming.
It's a terrible thing to say. That doesn't make me feel good at all. You're a bad, bad shrink.
Hey, I'm a court services officer.
Tell me you're not doing a Z-line suture. You'll leave a scar.
We've been in surgery 6 hours. This kid can keep his fingers. I think he can live with a small scar.
Yeah, well, there's no reason for him to. Not when a mattress closure won't cause one. You've heard of those, haven't you?
His heart rate just hit 179.
What's his temperature?
101 and climbing.
It was 97 just a few minutes ago. All right, let's get some ice on him. Give me a hypothermic blanket, please. Who are you?
Dr. Garner with infectious disease. I had a page about Dwayne Johnston. What's going on?
You can see for yourself. He's obviously developed an infection, which doesn't make a lot of sense since we've had him on a heavy dose of Ancef since he was admitted.
You're dealing with a HIV-positive child unless you gave him an antibiotic that's tailored to his virus. It's as if you gave him nothing at all, which is why I'm supposed to be here before you begin operating.
And if you'd answered any of the 6 pages we left you, you would have been.
Heart rate 182, 183.
This kid is about to go into cardiac arrest. Forget what we should have done. What do we do now?
At this point, all you can do is get his temperature down.
What do you think all this is for? All right, let's get some more ice on him. Rotate these packs. Give me another blanket.
My older daughter goes here, Nora. That's her, in the blazer. She's an ambassador. Oh, I still remember the nightmare of getting her in. And would you believe they had the wrong zip code and the acceptance letter was 3 days late showing up.
Oh, gosh, that must have been awful.
So I went to the post office, and I'll admit it, I bullied my mailman into digging through that bin until he found it. When I saw that envelope, do you know what I did?
A little dance?
I shouted, "My baby's going to Princeton."
Oh, excuse me. What are you doing here?
They got free cookies.
Hello, everybody. I'm Logan. I'm a 7th grader here at Merriweather, and I will be conducting your tour. But Merriweather is a lot more than just its buildings, or its library, or its new gym. In fact, trying to sum up the greatness of Merriweather would be inherently reductive.
What did you just say?
Merriweather is built
Reductive.
with rich and inspiring traditions.
I don't think I used reductive in a sentence until I was 30. Even then, it was a mistake.
I'm sorry. Is there a question in the back? Okay, then. Why don't y'all follow me?
You still asleep?
Yeah, but the fever's gone and the fingers look good. I just filled the grandmother in. Left out the part where he almost lost his life.
Hey, if you're looking for an apology, you're not gonna get one.
I'm not looking for anything.
Oh, this will brighten your day. Garner's gonna bring me up in front of the Mortality and Morbidity Board.
It doesn't make any sense. The surgery was successful.
I'm new, and if they're gonna dump me, they'll do it before they spend a lot of money on me.
When's the M&M?
10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Oh, and McCarty, you'll love this. Your presence has been requested by the Chief of Staff. So, I'll see you in the morning.
I trust you enjoyed the presentation. Thanks for coming. Do you have any questions?
Well, that wave particle thing.
It's always bothered me. But that would keep us here past your bedtime.
Well, here's my email address.
I'll be in touch.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Drive safely.
If Logan is their best advertisement, I'm not encouraged.
I mean, Logan's gonna be the next governor of California.
Well, what do you think, aside from Logan?
No. I just started this whole hideous process.
Me too. What are the schools you're looking at?
Probably the same ones you are. Chandler, High Point, Barrington. You know. Listen, I know this may be a sore topic. I owe you a cup of coffee. How about now?
Trying to get it over with?
No. I just thought...
Okay. Yeah, there's actually something I'd like to talk to you about.
I'll be back with a rag.
So what's up?
Well, this is a little awkward. One of the reasons I was looking into Merriweather for Lauren is... Well, do you think it's a good idea for Lauren and Victor to go to the same school?
I understand.
You do?
One of the reasons I'm looking at Merriweather is to get Victor away from Lauren. But I'm still... He's still... having nightmares. You know, he's seeing a shrink twice a week. I just don't think throwing a girlfriend into the mix is the right thing to do. If we both choose Merriweather, I'll arm wrestle you for it. And the loser has to choose another school.
The bun cake's a little stale and the tapioca looks watery. But I think you're safe with everything else.
Coffee? 2 coffees, please. Why don't you get the watery tapioca? I'll get the bun cake, and we can share.
All you owe me is a cup of coffee.
Where's your sense of adventure?
Maybe I don't have a sense of adventure. Maybe I don't want one.
That's no skin off my ass. More stale bun cake for me. Look, the Merriweather thing isn't going to be a problem. I honestly don't think I can send my son to a school that has valet parking on Parents' Night.
I don't think I could take my kid to a school where they have Logan for Parents' Night. Oh, what the hell? Let's order some shellfish.
Wow. Sense of adventure is one thing. Death wish is another.
Who knew you were funny?
Don't let it get out.
Oh, God. Is it bill paying time already? How'd it go? Merriweather. I don't think I'd survive the parent nights. They can't all be that bad.
How long did the thing last?
I went out for coffee afterwards with one of the prospective parents. You know, compare notes and stuff.
Uh-huh. What'd she think?
She didn't like it either. I'm tired. I'm gonna go to bed.
Good night.
Hello, Sean.
Maxine, what are you doing here? I told you twice you were not invited to this meeting.
Yes, you did.
2 times I told you. Just go on, get out of here. Quickly.
He's redone the office.
Maxine, I mean it. Go now. Commissioner Pollard.
Sean Potter. This is Sharon Yee, head of the Democratic Caucus. Well, this is a surprise. I didn't think you'd be able to make our meeting.
Maxine Gray, I freed up my schedule so I could talk to you about your latest budget cuts in person.
Maxine, a word?
What word?
I'd like to have a word with you.
After I have a word with the commissioner. I see you've redecorated. Is the living room ensemble new?
We've had that for several months. Is there some point to this, Ms. Gray?
God, I hope not.
Yes, there is. And it has to do with the fact that DCF seems to be able to afford couches for your office, but not beds for its clients.
That is a wildly unfair accusation.
Is it? Ladies, come in. This is Maria and Crystal. little Yolanda, and this is Jennifer. And I don't know the other girls' names, but I should, because they're all my clients, and none is mentally ill, which is why I had them removed from Clarksport Institute, the psychiatric hospital where they were being housed.
Maxine, you are so out of line.
Look, I know it's not the ideal situation, but the fact is there is a real shortage of beds.
Yes, one that you created by the way you handle your budget cuts, which interestingly did not involve any boys. Apparently you feel that their programs are important enough to continue funding. What would you call that? State-sponsored sexism?
No, I wouldn't.
Of course you would. These girls need proper housing as much as their male counterparts.
I agree. I do. And I am working very hard to try to solve the problem. But right now, there just is no place better for them.
They look quite comfortable here. And I noticed that you have excellent bathroom facilities, a nice little kitchenette. I'm sure that the girls would be safe right here until you can find that better place.
By any measure, Ellie Richards is a very fortunate child. She has two intelligent, caring parents that are devoted to her well-being. Unfortunately, they do come from very different worlds. I wish I could see into the future. I wish I could tell you which one of these worlds would guarantee Ellie happiness and success. But I can't. Ellie not only has two parents, but also two families who love her, and I simply do not believe it's in her best interest to keep her from having a relationship with either one of them. So I am rejecting both requests for sole guardianship. My ruling is for shared custody.
No.
Your Honor, shared custody is the one solution that's not a solution.
Your Honor, I agree with opposing counsel. Shared custody is not an answer.
It is if I say it is, and I just did.
You're forcing my client to choose between her child and her heritage.
No, Mr. Lippman, her tradition is forcing her to choose. So I'm giving you 30 days to come to a settlement. Mr. Richards?
Jason, sit. You have to sit.
No, I won't do this. She'll be shut off from her entire family. They both will.
What are you saying?
I want Rachel to have custody.
What?
Your Honor, a recess?
Are you nuts?
Mr. Richards, let him speak.
Look, the thing that I really want here is for us to raise Ellie together here, but she's got to go back. This will ruin her whole life. I can't do that.
You will never see her again.
Dad, she's my kid. I know what I'm doing.
Well, I can file my own petition. I can file my own petition, can I, Your Honor?
You certainly have the right. But you would have to provide a preponderance of evidence to show that you are the better candidate to raise Ellie rather than her own mother. And in the absence of any abuse or neglect allegations, I have to say I do not think you'd prevail.
This is really what you want.
Yeah, it is. Really is.
Go ahead. Withdraw our case.
Well, Mr. Richards, you and your father understand that you are giving up the right to raise Ellie. Okay. Then I'm going to deny Mr. Richards' petition, and I'm vesting sole custody of Ellie and her mother, Rachel Byler.
I paged infectious disease at least 3 times. And Dr. McCarty called them several times as well.
And when you didn't get them, you, what? Just decided to go ahead and operate anyway?
Well, if I can explain.
That's why you're here.
I checked his white blood cell count, did a full Kim panel, and it was my judgment that the patient was okay to undergo surgery.
Your judgment dictated that it was acceptable to ignore policy and expose this entire institution to a multi-million-dollar lawsuit because you thought it was okay? Is that your defense? In my opinion, your judgment is severely flawed. I, for one, am going to recommend that your privileges be pulled immediately and that you be sent packing.
I'd like to say something. What Dr. Hooper did was a lot more reasoned than you're making it out to be. The T-cell count was high. The patient seemed strong enough to undergo surgery, and a decision had to be made. Either wait and let this boy lose half of his fingers or go ahead. And Dr. Hooper made a best case decision. Now, if you don't think it was the right one, go talk to Dwayne Johnston. He's in his room having breakfast. Now, the truth is, I don't particularly like Dr. Hooper, but our train wreck of a hospital is lucky to have him, in my humble and not particularly solicited opinion. Though I would point out that you wanted me here.
The problem is that I've run out of excuses for you.
Someone had to slap that sorry excuse for a commissioner into consciousness.
And it had to be you. It always has to be you. You have no sense of the big picture here. The fact that we work for these people. Here's the thing, Maxine. You are making my job harder.
Your job is supposed to be hard, Sean. Housing foster children in a psychiatric ward because we're too cheap to pay for regular beds. Well, I just couldn't let that go.
You don't let anything go. That's the whole point. You jump to DEFCON 1 at the drop of a hat. You set these things in motion, and then I am left sending letters of apology and fruit baskets in your wake.
I will send the letter of apology myself. I take full responsibility for my decision.
No, it wasn't a decision. Decisions involve logical, considered thought. What you did was childish, emotional, and...
And what?
Look, you found safe beds for those girls, and that's huge. But you don't see anything wrong with how you accomplished it. And you don't seem to care that you could have cost me my job. Am I wrong to think of us as friends?
Of course you're not. But you and I both know that no one's going to fire you over anything I do.
The hell they won't, Maxine. This is some insane reality you've invented. Speaking of which, I don't know what's going on with you. Maybe it's Jared, maybe it's something else, but lately I'm worried about you, all right? And that's the truth. I want you to think about getting some help.
Help?
Go see someone.
Psychiatric help?
Therapy.
I've had therapy.
One session when your dog died is not what I'm talking about.
Is this an order?
It's a plea from someone who cares very much about your well-being, and I don't think you're well.
I appreciate your concern, Sean, but I simply don't have time for mental health.
Yes, you do. Starting Monday, I'm pulling you back to 20 hours a week.
You are not serious.
You've got to figure out what's going on, Maxine, for everybody's sake.
I gotta tell you, I'm just about the last person I thought would throw me a lifeline.
Why'd you do it?
I don't really know.
Oh, sure I do.
It's a power play.
No, but of course you would think that. Someone did it for me once.
Let me guess, Dr. Rediger.
Yep, not long after I got here, she called it a mulligan.
Whatever. I appreciate it.
Well, for the record, you only get one.
Hello?
In here.
Hi, I'm sorry I missed dinner. I was working late and then I stopped at the mall. Are you okay?
Why?
You're doing that thing. Angry knitting. Why are you doing that thing?
So I won't have to talk about it. What'd you buy at the mall?
The solution to one of my problems. I should call him $18.50. That's what he costs. Check it out. Clean lyrics. Turns out they put out an alternative version.
Remarkable. The capitalists have figured out how to turn anxious, overprotective parents into yet another source of income.
I don't know. When did I turn into Elizabeth Dole?
I'm not going to dignify that question.
Okay, so here's the plan. I'm gonna wait till she's asleep, and then I'm gonna swap this guy out with the one in her stereo. Think it'll work? What do you think?
It's worth a try. And it's a lot cheaper than private school.
Yeah, that was a bad idea, wasn't it?
Not my place to say. It was a very bad idea.
I know. I know. She likes her school. She's happy. She has friends. Some parents would consider that a victory, but not me. I want her to be smart and miserable like her mom.
You're not so smart. And I know for a fact you're not so miserable. You're back in juvenile court, and you're pretty happy about that.
You just cannot contain yourself, can you?
I didn't say a word for 2 whole weeks.
You're happy that I'm back in juvenile.
Because that's where you belong.
Yes, I am happy about that, but I have a lot of weird stuff going on right now, Mom.
Yes, Amy, I've noticed.
No, I'm not. It's not just about the non-wedding. That was this external symptom. It's an inner thing. I just feel so... God, what is the word? It's like I'm in the grip of something. And it's huge and powerful. And the more I try to make it right... Well, you said it yourself. What I did, it took courage, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So I pushed the boulder out of the road, but there's still a road, and I'm still... Oh, God. Now I'm using sophomoric metaphors. I give up. I just feel like there's something looming, and I can put up my best defense, but it doesn't care. It's still coming. You don't know what the hell I'm talking about, do you?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know all about messes. If I believed in astrology, I'd say right now my moon is in the wrong house, or whatever the hell they say.
Well, if you know what I'm talking about, then you can answer this question for me. When I am trying to describe this feeling, what the hell is the word that I'm groping for?
Life.
You're gonna have to teach me how to knit. I guess this is the latest budget cut brainstorm. Close all metal detectors but one.
You just give everybody guns and holsters and save a lot of time and money.
Well, shall we become intimate with today's docket?
Well, you could stand a little closer to me and make your boyfriend jealous.
Please step through one
What
at
boyfriend?
a time. Get to everybody, one at a time, please.
How was he my boyfriend?
You went on a date?
We had coffee.
You went to a restaurant, sat in the booth, he paid. You think that wasn't a date?
It wasn't. We met up at a school thing. We had coffee afterwards, and no universe is at a date.
Why is he looking at you like, yes, sir, that's my baby?
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna nip this in the bud right now.
No butt nipping time like the present.
Watch me.
Excuse. Judge coming through. Thank you.
Morning.
Hi.
They ought to have an express lane. People with 12 motions or less.
That's fun. Anyway, I want to thank you for the coffee and stale bun cake the other night.
That was fun.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about.
Place your bag on the counter, sir.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how to say this. It was a lot of fun, and we seem to have a good rhythm or something. But I'm just nowhere near ready to date.
You thought that I...
Oh no, I didn't. I just wanted to make sure that you didn't think that the coffee was.
No. Coffee was coffee.
Right.
I need you to step over here, sir.
Yeah, coffee. Not that I didn't really enjoy having bad coffee with you.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got everything cleared up. I mean, not that there was anything to clear up.
Right. I mean, if I were to hit on you, I'd at least wait until Stu's kilt came back from the cleaners.
Move forward, please. One at a time.
Oh, By the way, this, not a date.
So, how'd it go?
You're dead to me. If I were to hit on you, like it was some idea from Mars until I brought it up.
Well, who does he think he is, anyway? I mean, my opinion, that blue-eyed, chiseled-jawed, great physique in a perfectly tailored suit thing is overdone. Even if he does have great lips.
Hazel.
What?
His eyes are hazel. I'm a judge. I look at lawyers in the eye. How did he manage to make me feel rejected? I don't want to date him. I left a perfectly nice man at the altar 3 weeks ago, for God's sake. I'm just not used to a guy joking about how he doesn't want to go out with me, and I want to know what the hell that's about.
Well, the guy was not interested in you. For some reason that defies logic.
You set me up.
I just try to give you a normal guy's perspective.
He said if I were going to hit on you. What does that mean?
I believe we covered this.
Morning. Well, I trust you are ready for your makeover. Lightweight ballistic nylon. Goes as well with jeans as it does with evening wear.
I trust you're not expecting me to wear that.
I'm not. The state is. Since that caseworker was shot in Delaware, they've become worried about us.
That poor woman was shot in the head, which means this fashion statement would not have helped her a bit.
You know, I will email the governor immediately and clear that up. In the meantime, I am bound by law to give these to the entire staff.
Fine. I'll put it in the trunk of my car, where I won't have to look at it and be reminded that I am forced to wear combat gear on a job for which I am criminally underpaid.
What are you telling me? You want hazard pay?
I do not appreciate pithy comments about my financial situation from the man who slashed my hours.
For your own good.
I see. And when exactly does the good part start?
You know, I prefer it when our office tension just roils under the surface behind meaningless small talk and tight smiles.
For your information, Sean, I've taken a survey. Everyone in this office, except for me, is moonlighting for the extra cash. You, for example, teach the Irish jig on weekends.
Okay, the official term is heritage step dancing.
Robert creates websites, and Kimberly is working at the Hartford Wellness Mental Health Center doing God knows what.
Actually, Kimberly was fired. Apparently, there was an ugly incident involving the staff refrigerator and some vegan chili.
Kimberly is a therapist. Now, there's a terrifying thought.
Maybe you should talk to the mental health center. They're always looking for people like you.
Cranky and opinionated and overdrawn.
You have a counselor's license.
Yeah, not to mention a keen understanding of refrigerator boundary issues.
Maybe I will look into that, Robert.
Robert was joking.
No, I wasn't.
Maxine, when I suggested therapy, this is not the side of the couch I had in mind. And I did not cut your hours so you'd have the time to go find work on the outside. You are supposed to be taking it easy.
Sean, it is your prerogative to give me free hours, but you may not tell me how to spend them.
I have before me a petition to modify a joint custody agreement brought by Patricia Rollins. Why is your client seeking full custody?
Your Honor, 11-year-old Isaac Rollins has always been a model child, but since the divorce, he has been sent home from school twice, he gets into fights, his language is abusive and offensive.
The type of behavioral change often attributed to divorce. Why do you think modifying the custody agreement would improve matters?
Joint custody means Isaac spends time with his father without his mother's, shall we say, socializing influence.
Try English.
The kid spends too much time with his father. His father's a jerk. In fact, his father is a jerk for a living. Are you familiar with the J. Rollins show?
Not as a listener, but I am aware that it exists, and Mr. Rollins falls under the category of jock. Speaking of Mr. Rollins, counselors, your table seems to be short one person.
Cynthia Moran, Your Honor, with Canfield, Behane, Burke, and Moran. Our firm represents not only J. Rollins, but World Mine Incorporated, of which WGOO radio station is a subsidiary.
And where's Mr. Rollins?
Oh, Mr. Rollins is a stage 2 celebrity, Your Honor. His show is syndicated in 27 markets.
Ms. Moran, I don't care what level of celebrityhood Mr. Rollins is in. I would like him here tomorrow morning. At what time, Mr. Van Exel?
9:30.
9:30 sharp. Are we clear?
Clear, Your Honor.
Good. Next case.
You know what the most common name in the world is?
Mohammed. I got that email of useless facts, too. I was particularly enlightened to find out that a pig's orgasm lasts for 30 minutes. Sheds a whole new light on Kermit. That email happened to mention the most common greeting for a socially awkward situation?
Hey was first, followed closely by, how you doing?
Hey.
How you doing? This is Dr. Todd Hooper, the new Lily, my friend Heather Lamont.
Nice to meet you. How do you like you better than the old Lily?
Oh, you're just saying that because she fired you. You got rounds?
You'll have to excuse Todd. He's himself today.
One more reason to be glad I don't work here anymore. Listen, I just came by to tell you I'm sorry.
For what?
You know, being a passive-aggressive bitch.
Actually, you seemed pretty active-aggressive. Let's not rehash it. One could argue that you were justified.
So you forgive me?
I forgive you. If you'll forgive me.
Works for me.
Great. We're both forgiven. Jesus is happy. I've got rounds. What's going on?
My father's coming to town tomorrow. Wants to have lunch.
Is that a bad thing?
It is, unless you want to go with me. Then I'll at least be bearable.
I don't do well with fathers. Ask mine.
I can't do it alone. I need someone there with me. Someone like you.
You need a recovering addict with a cowlick?
Please.
Dr. McCarty, Mrs. Phelps is waiting in observation.
Sure. I'll go.
You're a lifesaver. I'll call you about where and when.
Well, the kids and I are ready to run out the door, but I can't find Jillian. She went to the quick pick to get baby wipes, and she should have been home half an hour ago. No, she's not answering her cell. Wait a minute. Never mind. Here she comes. Look, don't hold dinner for us, but we'll be there. Okay? Yeah, bye. Hey, Nettie.
What?
Nettie, Mommy's home. Go get your jacket so we can go to Grandma's.
Okay.
Good boy. Where were you? I was worried.
I drove around.
You drove around?
There was a song on the radio I wanted to hear. You know what? You're gonna have to go by yourself. I'm just not up to your family tonight.
Okay, who was the first person to ever look at one of these and decide there's something in there worth fighting for?
I don't know, but I bet it was a man, and I bet he wasn't going to do the work.
Artichoke. First man to ever say all this needs is lemon butter.
Okay. Hypothetical question. You see me at a bar, and, well, I'm not your cousin. Hello, family. Hey, Ma.
Hey, Maxine. Okay, so you're at a bar. I'm not your cousin.
What do you take me for, a Jets fan or a Giants fan?
Is this a trick question?
What are we having?
Chicken
Kyle.
Amy. Well, if no one wants to put their name on it, that's not a good sign.
Looks like chicken. Yuck.
Sit at the table.
It's not my turn.
It is if I say it is.
Ooh. You will never guess what I'm doing tomorrow morning.
I'm going on a job interview.
You have a job. Well, since Sean has seen fit to trim my hours to give me time to reflect on my recent misbehavior, I'm going to spend my free time earning a little extra money.
Doing what?
I'm going to use my MFC credentials.
You're going to be a therapist?
If all goes well, I'm going to hang out my shingle tomorrow at the Hartford Mental Health Center.
Just ignore him, Mom. I think it's great, Ma. I think it's a very courageous thing to do in an out there kind of way.
I suppose this is about as much support as I could expect.
Come on, Mom. You just surprised us. You didn't give us any warning. I think it's great. I do. You give a lot of free advice anyway. Why not make some mattress money?
Aunt Max, I'm sorry. I think you're gonna do great.
Put those glasses on the table. Don't bother setting a place for me. I'm not very hungry.
So, how long you been with DCF?
157 years, give or take.
You're aware this is a part-time position.
I'm not trying to change my life. I'm just looking to add dimension to my public service.
Tell me about that.
Dr. Foster,
Call me Alan.
I spend the bulk of my time in the field, where situations frequently escalate to a crisis level. I thought it would be prudent to strengthen my therapy muscles as a preventative resource. And I would like the extra cash. Alan.
What about training?
I maintain my marriage and family counselor certificate.
Anything else?
I have 3 children and 3 grandchildren. Believe me, I'm up to my gizzard in relevant life experience.
I know the feeling. I've got 2 ex-wives, children, stepchildren, their children, everybody's boyfriends and life partners, and a brother who's an aging bodybuilder with transgender issues. Anyway, what makes you think you'd be good at this therapy stuff?
How long did it take me to get your life story?
Jay's turned Isaac into a monster. Changed his personality. He's rude. He's crude. He makes terrible remarks to his female teachers. He defies me all the time. Calls me names.
It's called puberty. Buy a parenting book.
Mr. Rollins.
I had to put on a best of tape because she forced me to come down to this little circus.
I forced you to, Mr. Rollins.
At this time, Your Honor, we'd like to play an excerpt from a recent J. Rollins show.
Your Honor, we renew our objection to allow this tape into evidence.
Renewed and overruled. Play the tape.
Okay. How many friggin' times do I have to go over this with you ballless wonders? Now write it down and put it in your wallet. Then when it's closing time and that chick that was goat ugly at 2 beers is now white hot after 8, you can take it out and read it. Ready? I, a J. Rollins Battalion member, will not boink, bonk, hump, nail, or otherwise engage a single mother ever. Single mommies are simply sluts who popped out another guy's kid and want you to pay for the braces and the schools and the birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese. They want to get in your shorts because that's the fastest way into your wallets. Got it? End of story. What? Like I'm the only guy that thinks like that? Why else would I have such a big audience? Am I right? Am I right?
Your Honor, the J. Rollins show is irrelevant to this case. Altering the custody won't keep Isaac from hearing the show.
If he was any kind of a parent, he'd tell his son not to listen to him.
Do you tell your kids not to watch lawyer shows? And by the way, did the First Amendment get repealed while I was taking a nap? And notice I said nap instead of something that rhymed with nap, just to show you I could censor myself?
I appreciate the gesture. Now show me you can stop talking.
Your Honor, J. Rollins has been an exemplary parent. In fact, Patricia Rollins has been violating the existing custody agreement.
Objection, complete falsehood.
Patty, tell him. Tell him how you and Isaac are conveniently gone when I come by to pick him up.
Ms. Rollins?
Once Isaac went camping for the weekend with a friend. I forgot to tell Jay. And another time we got stuck in New Haven when my car broke down.
You don't think the judge has time to hear about the other 657 times you weren't there?
Hey, Mr. Rollins, I told you to stop talking.
Just for the record, Your Honor, are you a single mother?
My personal life is none of your business.
Aha! I knew it. We got a mistrial, am I right?
Recess, Your Honor.
Am I right?
That's a great idea.
Well,
Are you a Merlot man at lunch, Kyle, or more of a Chardonnay fella?
Cranberry and soda, actually. I don't drink.
Where did you find a doctor who doesn't drink?
He's 1 in a million.
Well, then you better hold on to him.
I'm working on it.
So, my daughter tells me this is pretty serious.
Daddy!
It's not unserious. It's a little undefined at the moment.
It's okay, honey. I told him.
Good.
Hey, look, Kyle, I may be old-fashioned, but I'm a pragmatist, and I know how things are.
What things are those?
Well, you two living together, that's your business.
Oh.
It's a different world than the one I grew up in. I know that.
Us living together. Well, I'm glad you're okay with it.
As long as you do the right thing. Eventually. Who's got a crystal ball? As long as that's your good faith goal, you're not taking advantage of my daughter.
No. I'm,
Honey, Daddy isn't asking you to set a date right here on the spot. Just smile and tell him you are going to make an honest woman of me someday.
Mr. Labont, I can assure you, I am going to make an honest woman of your daughter in the very near future.
Well, let's not wait for the drinks. Let's start celebrating that now.
The hair started to go south around the same time as the tech stocks. The portfolio was the next to go.
I see.
I used to have this big blonde mane. I was the Rod Stewart of the Hartford Smith Barney. Biggest producer in the office. Point guard of the company hoops team. Till I snapped my ACL, which is when I started putting on the LBs. And the whole sleep apnea thing started. Anita said it was like sleeping with a pilot whale.
Those sound like medical problems.
Anita said the medical stuff was symptomatic of the fact that I felt trapped in the marriage. So she set me free.
She ended the relationship.
It's like everything that defined me is gone. The hair, the portfolio, the Porsche, the trophy wife. Plus, she won't let me see Abby.
Your daughter.
Our Shih Tzu. That might sound silly to you. But when you don't have kids, it's hard. Thank you.
Oh, get a grip.
Hey, I'm in a lot of pain here.
Let me tell you about pain. A family of 5 with no idea where their next meal is coming from. A woman caring for her grandson with pediatric AIDS. A child chained in a dark basement for a week with no food or water. Those people have a right to talk about pain. Sometimes a little perspective is helpful.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, and those nights when all you want to do is curl up with a glass of wine and a good book.
Yeah, but Bob the Builder's missing his hammer.
Yeah, and that Winnie the Pooh book isn't the right Winnie the Pooh book. And the Dora the Explorer book you thought was in the car is actually behind the dryer. But you won't know that for 3 more days.
Yeah. And all you want to do is have an adult conversation for, like, maybe 5 minutes.
And you wonder, am I still capable?
And then all of a sudden, there you are having one. Like now.
Yes, like now.
Hey, Jillian.
Oh, Peter, hi. Oh, it's my Peter, husband.
Hi, Matthew. Hey, hope I wasn't interrupting.
No, we were just talking.
Kids, you know. Look, I better go. We've got kinder gym. It's nice meeting you.
Likewise.
See you again?
See you.
Yeah. Seem like a nice guy.
He's here a lot. He's easy to talk to.
And I'm not.
Did I say that? Ned! Ned, honey, let's go.
It's been a while since I've seen you laugh like that.
Oh, why don't you just say what you're trying to say?
I'm not. I'm just talking. Okay, here's something I'll say. Why did your good mood leave with what's his name?
Come on, that's nonsense.
We'll contact you next week.
No. Don't you tell me the law. I know the damn law. Where have you been? Oh, really? You want to get into a pissing contest with me, Leo? You'll be doing it in court. Leo Ahern, or Jackass, as I like to call him.
Good morning. I need a couple of hours off.
I just gave you half your hours off.
I'm trying to establish a client base at the mental health clinic. Once they have come to love me and realize they can't imagine life without me, I will rearrange their standing appointments to meet with your approval.
Maxine, there's a reason that they call it moonlighting instead of middle of the day lighting. Where are you going? I haven't given you an answer yet.
Pardon me.
Excuse me. What? Hi.
Salad? You want one with the stale croutons or without?
Well, you know me, my sense of adventure. Thank you.
By the way, this? Not a double date.
Isaac, when you and your dad spend time together, what kinds of things do you do?
Just hang out. We go to this pizza place I like and to the movies. Oh, and this one time, we took a limo to Yankee Stadium to see him play the Red Sox. We got to sit in the press box and everything.
Objection, Your Honor. Heartwarming, yet irrelevant.
The time he spends with his father is irrelevant in a custody hearing?
Overruled. But, Ms. Moran, please spare us the next 5 Norman Rockwell portraits, if that's what you have planned.
If the court will trust me that they exist, I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Waters?
Isaac, when you told Brenda Collins, your vice principal, that she should get back to the kitchen or the bedroom where she would know what to do, what did you mean?
Nothing.
You were quoting your father's show, weren't you?
So? People quote their favorite TV shows all the time.
What about when you told your mother, back off, bitch, before I go loco on your ass?
Your Honor, can we get back to the custody hearing?
Nice try, Miss Moran. Answer the question, Isaac.
I was mad. Kids get mad at their parents. I mean, there's no law against that. Am I right? Am I right?
Isaac, how do you feel about single mothers? Your father doesn't think that much of them. How about you?
Your Honor.
It's my courtroom, Miss Moran.
I don't know. I'm just a kid. I mean, I know they're always trying to, like, trap men and get all their money.
You're aware that your own mom is a single mother.
I guess.
So all those things that your father says about single mothers, the things that you say to your teachers, do those apply to your mom?
No, she's not like that.
The hell she isn't.
Mr. Rollins.
He never does that. You're making him say bad things about her.
How did I make him do that?
I don't know how. You just did. You're out to get him.
Isaac, my job is to get to the bottom of this situation and to figure out what's best for you. I'm not out to get anybody.
She's lying, isn't she, Dad? I bet she just has this job to meet rich lawyers.
Isaac, stop talking.
Why? Why should I?
Because she's a judge and you're a kid, okay?
I'm sorry.
So, well, what do you think?
The zone diet has given you back your cheekbones?
What's that? And
You shaved.
yes, I did.
Well, it's nice to know I no longer work for Wyatt Earp.
Consider it a peace offering.
That's very thoughtful. If, however, you were in a truly giving mood, you would have kept shaving till you hit the sideburns.
Look, here's the thing. I don't like being at war with you.
I wasn't aware that we'd escalated to actual warfare.
I don't like there to be tension between us. It gives me acid reflux. I would much rather get along and digest my food.
As would I.
So, I am reinstating your hours to a full schedule in the interest of digestive health.
Your concern for my mental state lasted just long enough for you to get a taste of life without me.
No, just long enough for me to realize that it was a waste of my time, energy, and vast quantities of Pepto-Bismol.
I appreciate your concern for me, but I am enjoying my reduced hours.
Fine.
It is nice to see your face. Again.
I can explain.
That would help.
I feel like I'm always asking for your forgiveness.
Nothing wrong with that as long as you don't do anything that's unforgivable.
So have I?
I guess that depends on why you did it.
I should have warned you. I was going to, but I didn't think he'd bring it up. My dad, he's
He's what, a big fan of marriage? I got that.
he's sick. He's very sick.
What is it?
Lung cancer. Metastasized to the brain. I told him so much about you and me. If he found out I was kicked out of medicine and lost you. He doesn't even live here. Can we just let him keep thinking that I'm a doctor and I'm gonna marry a handsome non-drinking doctor and make a bunch of little doctors?
Yeah. We can do that.
You're not mad?
No, I was never mad. I was confused. Okay, I was a little mad.
So, you probably need to be getting home or something.
Eventually. But I like where I am now.
So anyway, I was with Josh, my cousin. I was visiting him in Philly. We were at this concert. We were in the parking lot before the show started. And suddenly he starts going, "My back, my back." He got shot.
By whom?
That's the thing. It was random. They think it came from like the street. I don't know.
Is Josh all right?
He's in physical therapy. They say he'll be okay, but
But what?
you know, he'll be okay until next time.
Would you tell him, Mrs. Gray? Tell him how irrational it is to expect there to be a next time. Actually, I don't see that as irrational at all. What? Once upon a time, that kind of fear may have been irrational. These days, the expectation of tragedy is merely pragmatic. Children are not safe. In schoolyards, in fast food places, office workers in tall buildings cannot enjoy their morning coffee or the view without fighting a sense of dread. Hell, applying for a job on the 90th floor takes a by-God hero these days. What kind of therapist are you? You and I and your son live in a scary world. Now, why are you trying to convince him he's crazy to be scared?
Well, you're supposed to provide him comfort.
Comfort. Here. I was told that this would provide comfort. Frankly, it doesn't do a thing for me.
We are so out of here. Go, 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 go.
This is a custody hearing, and therefore I have two options. Amend the agreement or not. Unfortunately, that's just not enough in this case. Jay Rollins is Isaac Rollins' biological father and is accorded all such rights. His radio show persona, whether actual or created, should not factor into this agreement.
Your Honor.
Mr. Waters, let me finish. However, if his radio persona is affecting his son's psychological state, then that's another matter.
Are you saying I'm making my kid nutso? Are you out of your mind? You gotta be kidding me. It's an act, for God's sakes.
Mr. Rollins.
This is all BS. You're pissed off like she's pissed off. You're using your judicial power to handcuff me.
Mr. Rollins. Hey.
It's what I do for a living. I have a responsibility to my fans.
Mr. Rollins.
All right, George Foreman's kid punches another kid at school. Does he lose his parental rights?
Mr. Rollins! Sit down or I will have that man escort you out of this room and into a jail cell. You have to understand that your responsibility to your family trumps that to your fans.
Your Honor,
Sit
that
down,
was-
Miss Moran. Now, you are comparing apples to boxers. And if I was going to sever George Foreman's parental rights, it would be because he named all his kids George. Your son is so starved for your attention and approval that he started to imitate you in hopes that you'll notice him. Now, it is a tragedy that anyone would see fit to imitate you, much less an impressionable child. However, I am not going to alter the custody agreement. The Constitution makes no provisions against the rights of ignorant jackasses to procreate. But I strongly suggest you turn off the Jay Rollins show when your son is in hearing range. And that goes for both the Stage 2 celebrity version and the live broadcast to which this court was so mercilessly subjected. Now, I'm also putting a condition on this ruling. The joint custody will remain in effect so long as Jay Rollins and his son attend no less than 30 hours of sensitivity training together.
What? Cynthia.
Your Honor.
If this is unacceptable to your client, I'll have no choice but to give Patricia Rollins full custody.
It's blackmail.
Technically, I think you mean extortion.
Well, I'm not gonna do it.
Dad, don't you want me anymore?
Of course I want you, Isaac. That's what I'm fighting here for.
But she said it was something we could do together.
Together? That's what you said.
I did, yes.
Mm. Okay. We'll do it.
Good. Next case.
You told the kid he was right to be frightened?
No, I told him he was not crazy to feel that way.
You offered him a bulletproof vest.
His mother wanted him to feel safe, and I didn't have a suit of armor in my purse. I don't know if you've noticed, Alan, because the people who come through that door seem to be inventing their pain, but out there, the world has become a very random place. You know, gravity is losing its grip, and I don't know how to pretty that up. At 13, I think he's a little late to the dance because this is not the world that you and I grew up in. I don't see the harm in warning him about that.
Well, let me explain the harm.
No, let me save you the trouble. Consider me no longer your problem.
What are you saying?
In layman's terms, I'm resigning.
Already?
I've been keeping when my boss suggested to me that I try therapy, I told him that he was
So then I decided that I would try to become a therapist. But well, I know this probably makes all sorts of sense to you and Dr. Freud. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just a plain, ordinary, garden variety bad idea. So, now that I've realized that, I'm going home. Nice to have met you.
So how's Thursday at 7?
Pardon me?
That's when I have a session open. The only other option would be Tuesday morning, but that's when I do Pilates.
You do Pilates?
And I play the banjo. Not at the same time. So, Thursday?
Oh, what the hell?
It's open.
Okay, tell me this. Is it because I'm a single mother?
Hang on. Excuse me?
Just so I know. I mean, it's your business, and normally I wouldn't even care, but frankly, I'm not used to guys who don't want to go out with me, much less guys who think that the fact that they don't want to go out with me is some kind of great running gag. And as you know, I've had some recent upheaval in my life, so the last thing I need to be doing is fretting about something so stupid. So it's not a complicated question. Is it because I'm a single mother?
No, it's because you're insane.
Really?
No. She did just dump a guy at the altar.
I'm just saying.
Oh, my God. I didn't realize you were busy.
Wait.
Forget it. It was stupid. I was just trying to use up my last make a fool of yourself coupon, but I'm done.
Judge Gray. Hang on a second. All right, look, would you mind if I used your actual name outside of the courtroom, would that be okay?
No, I wouldn't mind.
Great. I'm David. You're Amy.
Okay.
It's great. I was getting really old. Listen,
David,
Amy, the thing is...
Are we gonna do this tonight?
Look, the thing is, I'll call you.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Lovely. You must have spent a fortune.
Small one. Okay, the wine was a car payment.
You're sweet to do this, but you didn't have to.
Yeah, I did.
Let's go home and see the kids.
We're not going home.
What?
We're staying here. I rented a suite with a view and a TV that comes out of the headboard and a marble spa tub in the room for us.
But honey, the kids,
Oh, they're with Donna. I packed us each a suitcase. They're in the trunk.
But you have to work tomorrow.
I'm gonna take the morning off. We're gonna stay up late, Jillian, and we're gonna drink champagne and look at the city lights from our jacuzzi tub. And we're not gonna talk about the kids or the house or anything but you and me.
Peter,
This is our night.
why are you just dropping this on me?
It's a surprise. I'm being, spontaneous.
You could have warned me.
Honey, I did this for you, for us. We need this. What's wrong?
I don't know.
Look, Jillian, I know you're tired and you're still dealing with hormones.
Peter, it's not the hormones.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna take the car home. Why don't you take the room tonight? We could both use the space.
Jillian, what are you talking about?
I don't think I'm in love with you anymore.
Previously on Judging Amy. Okay, tell me this. Is it because I'm a single mother?
Excuse me?
I'm not used to guys who don't want to go out with me, much less guys who think that the fact that they don't want to go out with me is some kind of great running gag. So it's not a complicated question. Is it because I'm a single mother?
No, it's because you're insane.
I am worried about you, all right? That's the truth. I want you to think about getting some help.
Psychiatric help?
If I used your actual name outside of the courtroom, would that be okay?
No, I wouldn't mind.
Great. I'm David. You're Amy. I'll call you.
Why don't you take the room tonight? We could both use the space.
What are you talking about?
I don't think I'm in love with you anymore.
Is there coffee? Please tell me there's coffee.
Peter, there's a tree in the kitchen.
Wow. Yeah. So, no coffee?
Peter, tree in the kitchen.
I thought I heard something strange in the middle of the night.
Turns out what you heard was a tree crashing through the window. What I can't believe is that you decided to ignore it and go back to sleep.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't lived here in a while. For all I know, you people crash around in the middle of the night.
Okay, FYI, next time you hear a crash in the middle of the night, come downstairs with a baseball bat.
Okay, FYI, I'm not going to be here that long.
Really? Did you talk to Jillian?
Well, no, but I mean, come on. This is not going to last. It's just a bump in the road. You know, your homeowner's policy covers repairs. You should probably call somebody.
Hey, Lauren, what do you want for breakfast?
I'm not hungry.
Well, you will be. Come down and choke down some toast.
Who could turn down such an appetizing offer? Oh, my.
Good morning.
Well, this hasn't happened since the year your father died. I forgot to have the trees trimmed. You did have the trees trimmed.
I thought they just shed naturally.
Yes, they do, dear.
I'll take care of it.
Morning, everyone.
Jillian.
Oh, I guess you...
Yeah, we're on it. Hey, Peter just left for work.
I came to talk to the two of you. Sorry for just dropping in.
Oh, you don't have to apologize. You're welcome here anytime. You're family.
She knows that, Amy. Coffee, Jillian?
No, thank you. Walt's christening is at 7:30 on Friday night at the First Methodist Church. The minister wanted to meet with the family tomorrow night. I thought maybe we could do it here, if you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. Why Methodist?
Well, I know Ned was christened at the Presbyterian Church. Well, since none of you have been there in years, I thought maybe we'd go with my church this time.
I have no preference, as long as it's all right with Peter.
Oh, he agreed to let me plan it.
Jillian, should we be doing this? I mean, with the situation between you and Peter, maybe we should wait until things are a little less weird.
Later might be weirder. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.
Hold the elevator, please.
Hi. Hello.
Are you really that fascinated by your shoes, or are you trying to avoid making conversation with me?
Nothing like that. Just a little worried.
About what?
Nice shoes.
Your shoes?
Yeah. My son has threatened to submit my name to Queer Eye if I don't update my wardrobe.
Ah.
Are they too
what?
Italian? And half my paycheck.
I think the Fab Five would approve.
That's good, right? I owe you a phone call.
Yes, you do.
Good morning, Judge Gray. Hi. Mr. McLaren.
Hi. I'll see you later.
You and David McLaren buds now that you're out of criminal?
I wouldn't exactly call us buds.
Bill intends to be a bud.
Look who's talking. What's up first?
Nicole Phillips charged with reckless endangerment for running what is being described as a pro-anorexia website.
Pro-anorexia? There's actually people that come down on the pro side of starving to death?
Well, she can't be charged for distributing information. First Amendment. You know, unless, of course, there's a commercial relationship which undercuts her First Amendment rights. Is there?
She charged a fee for private counseling services.
You are so gonna ace that bar.
I've left so many messages, I've begun to think you and Scott had moved.
Sorry, Maxine, I've been too busy to think straight. This is Scott's second breakfast. The first one's under the table.
You feel he's getting worse?
He's getting bigger. Yesterday, I tried to brush his teeth, and he almost knocked me to the floor.
Well, it seems more important than ever to keep his treatment consistent. Scott has missed his physical therapy sessions the last 4 weeks, and his therapist is very concerned.
Oh, his therapist, his specialist, his PTs, OTs. He's seen them all since he was 2 years old. Look where it's gotten us.
7, 14, 21, 28, 7, 14, 21.
You tell me it's gonna get better.
It's going to get better, and worse, and better again, and then worse. This is the life, Beth, and you know that. You can't just give up.
I'm not. I'm trying other things.
Such as?
Prayer?
Prayer and what else? Scott has a neurological disorder. I doubt that prayer alone will be enough.
I found a church where they heal children like Scott. Now, I know it's not logical.
What's the name?
People's Church of the Covenant. They have been a godsend, Maxine. Sometimes they stay with me all night to heal him around the clock.
Do you give these people money?
I have given every doctor in town money until there's no money left. I met a woman who said that these people helped her child. Okay, it's kinetic energy. I don't know what it is.
Could I attend one of these services?
No, church members only.
Beth, I think you're grasping at straws. The one thing we know will help Scott is physical therapy. It's your responsibility to get him to those appointments. Otherwise, DCF will step in and take custody.
He's my son. I don't want him living in some group home being taken care of by a bunch of strangers. I will deal with this, Maxine. He is my son.
Maggie is in ICU, recovering from a heart attack. My 15-year-old daughter had a heart attack. She started losing weight about a year ago. She developed breasts earlier than most of her friends, and she felt self-conscious. Before I knew it, she was down to 85 pounds. Even then, she wouldn't stop. She collapsed at school and had to be hospitalized 2 months ago.
Mrs. Parsons, why do you blame Nicole Phillips for your daughter's condition?
She talked her into becoming anorexic. She runs a website called Pro Anna Girl.
Excuse me, Pro Anna?
Pro Anorexia. She believes it's the same as being a vegetarian. She teaches girls how to develop anorexia so that they'll be thin and popular. She gives instructions on how to make yourself throw up and which foods come up easiest. It's disgusting.
Objection. Opinion.
Sustained.
Information about anorexia is available other places. How can you be sure Nicole Phillips is to blame?
I checked the history on Maggie's computer. There were days when she stayed on that particular website for hours. And then there were the emails from Nicole encouraging Maggie to keep up the good work. My daughter was killing herself and you were cheering her on.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained. Miss Parsons, please do not speak to Miss Phillips directly.
No further questions.
Miss Hamilton?
Do you monitor your daughter's internet use?
I try. I don't look over her shoulder every moment or she won't want to come over to my house.
Maggie lives with you part-time because you're going through a divorce, correct?
Yes.
Isn't it possible that because of your personal problems, you missed what was going on with Maggie, and now you're looking for someone to blame?
No.
Wasn't it your responsibility as her mother to see the problem before it became life-threatening?
I did everything I could to make her eat. I bribes, rewards. It just got worse.
Maybe by the time you were paying attention, it was too late. No further question.
Teenagers would rather listen to the girl across the makeup counter or Britney Spears than their mothers.
That's all, Mrs. Parsons.
You've got to shut this website down.
Mrs. Parsons, please. Step down.
Would you like to have dinner with me?
Are you asking me out because you think I was asking you to ask me out?
No?
Because as you recall, what I asked was why you made a running gag out of the concept of asking me out.
I remember. So? Dinner?
I also said I was nowhere near ready to date.
I remember. What if we discuss that? Over dinner? Honestly, I just like to wear my new shoes somewhere. Look, I haven't asked anybody out since my wife. So I know I'm a little rusty. And I heard what you said. I thought I'd ask anyway.
I really shouldn't.
Okay.
David. I didn't say no.
No, you said.
Yeah, I know what I said. How about Thursday night?
I'll call you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Is there any reason we're still dining al fresco?
Turns out I'm not the only fool who forgot to trim the trees. I had to call a dozen people to find somebody to come today. Hey, Lauren, you haven't even touched your cereal.
Yeah, I have.
Whatever. Go get your backpack.
Hey, Amy, what time do you want me to watch Lauren tomorrow night?
I'm not sure. I'll find out today.
Okay, just let me know.
Where are you going tomorrow night? Someplace else. Hey, Lauren, good timing. Oh, Ma, that's the guy about the tree. We deal with him.
I'm a renter. See, I have to go to work in order to pay my rent.
Court, school, please.
I might have known that I'd wind up being the only person who knows how to handle this.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
I'm Mrs. Gray. You hear about the tree?
No.
Oh. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Ignacio Messina, cultivator of the soil.
Ignacio's Gardens of Earthly Delight. She called a gardener?
It's a landscape designer. I see you're into roses.
I can't believe my daughter doesn't know the difference between a tree trimmer and a gardener.
It's a landscape designer.
But either way, I'm afraid you've wasted a trip.
Well, I don't believe in wasted trips. Show me the tree. Maybe I can help.
We need someone with a chainsaw, and you are a...
Landscape designer. Say it with me. Landscape designer. I'm just kidding. Show me the tree. Maybe I can recommend somebody.
We may have to take out the whole tree. I'm not sure.
Who died?
Excuse me?
Whoever was taking care of these plants must have died.
The house and the yard belong to my daughter, and I assure you she's very much alive.
You might want to check. I mean, haven't you heard of pruning or vitamin treatments or water?
Amy doesn't particularly care for gardening. She's very busy. She shuns dirt. Now, about the tree.
Well, the tree is the least of your worries. Doesn't this depress you?
I barely notice.
Really? So you come down in the morning, la, 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 I'm Mrs. Gray, I'm so happy, I think I'll have my coffee out here on the porch, and open the door and, oh, who died? Seriously, that's how you want to live?
Thank you for stopping by. I'm, sorry to have wasted your time.
Have you ordered your bulbs yet? It's getting to be very late, and some of these things have to be special ordered.
Let me be clear. The yard belongs to my daughter.
No. Let me be clear. I don't believe you. Somebody who hates gardening would never plant a Ruth Darby tea rose in the front yard. You can only find them in a handful of nurseries in Ireland. That's your rose bush, and this is your garden. I'm guessing it was a hell of a bad year.
A half-frozen tree has crashed into this house. Lord knows how many other ice-laden branches are on their way down. Now, why are we talking about gardens in the middle of winter?
Well, winter's past, Mrs. Gray. Call me when you're ready to bring this place back to life.
Come in.
You got a minute?
I swear I was going to call you today.
I just need to know what time we're going out tomorrow night so I can arrange babysitting.
I made an 8 o'clock reservation at Sushi Nietzsche.
Sushi?
Nietzsche. Is that a problem?
Well, I got through the sushi without trying it. I'm not sure if I feel like trying it now.
Book something else.
You're not going to try to talk me into it?
Why would I do that?
I don't know. That's just what guys do, don't they?
I just...
Well, I guess not everything is raw at a sushi bar, right?
They cook the eel.
Eel?
We'll go someplace else.
No, you're right. You're right. I should try sushi.
I didn't say that.
Pick me up at 7:30.
Welcome to the house of God.
My name is Maxine Gray. I'm with the Department of Children and Families, and I'm the caseworker for Scott Benfield. His mother tells me that your church is attempting to heal him.
We are healing him
Do you mind if I ask how?
through prayer and the laying on of hands.
And the tying of rope?
Scott is very precious to us. We would never hurt him.
I'm not here to accuse you of anything, Mr.
Pastor Earl Morton.
I am concerned that Beth is ignoring conventional medical treatments and placing Scott's well-being entirely in your hands.
Scott is inhabited by a demon. It's taken away his reason. dragging him deeper and deeper into the darkness. When the demon is expelled, Scott will be cured.
Scott has a severe neurological disorder. Therapy can help, but he will never be cured.
If that's what you believe, it's no wonder your treatments have failed. Scott will be cured.
Nicole, your website is called proannagirl.com. What does the word Anna refer to?
Annas are anorexic, Mias are bulimic.
And do you consider yourself to be either one? Anorexic or bulimic?
It depends what I need. This week, I'm just restricting. You know, eating my safe foods like sugar-free gum and hard candy. If my weight creeps up, I'll purge for a couple days.
So this is behavior you can turn on or off?
Absolutely. Anna is a choice, not a disease. I plan to eat like this for the rest of my life. Experts say that people who are underweight live longer.
So you're practicing Anna for your health?
No. I want to look good. But it's not just that. The girls I meet on the site are in a lot of pain. Food is the one thing in their lives they can control. Parents don't get that. They keep yelling at their kids to gain weight. But the more the girls starve themselves, the more powerful they feel.
How old were you when you started practicing this lifestyle?
12.
I'm sorry, did you say 12?
Yes. I was going into junior high, and I didn't know anybody. The kids made fun of my baby fat. I wanted to crawl off and die. That's one of the reasons I started the site. I give girls a place to go and feel accepted for who they are. I teach them how to be an Anna, but to do it safely. I'm helping girls, not hurting them.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Somber?
This is an email you wrote Maggie Parsons, is it not?
Yes?
Sometimes you might get these heart things. It flutters or skips a beat. Don't panic, and whatever you do, don't tell your parents. They'll put you in the hospital and feed you through a tube, and you'll be right back where you started. How many times have you been hospitalized since you became an Anna?
I don't know. 6 or 7?
Because of heart things.
My heart beats really fast naturally. Sometimes I can't get my breath.
Have doctors told you that these anomalies are caused by your eating disorder and could kill you?
They were just trying to scare me.
Well, wouldn't it have been prudent to at least pass on that information to Maggie Parsons? I mean, let's face it, you're not a doctor or a scientist. You're 15.
I'm not hurting anybody.
Excuse me, Miss Phelps. Your Honor, Maggie Parsons' doctors have given permission for her to testify.
Objection. We won't agree to the state reopening its case.
Well, in fairness, Miss Hamilton, Maggie Parsons was always on the witness list. She was just too fragile when the prosecution was presenting its case. What do you feel about this? Do you think your daughter's well enough to testify?
She can speak. I would like her to have that chance. I want the court to see how sick she is.
Your Honor.
I'm going to allow it, Miss Hamilton.
We will have to go to her, Your Honor.
We'll go tomorrow.
At that point, little Walt will be presented, and I will address the family by saying, do you renounce the spiritual forces of wickedness, reject the evil powers of this world, and repent of your sin?
Wow. That's quite dramatic.
Ma.
I'm just surprised. I always thought the Methodists were more, understated.
We have our moments.
Please continue, Reverend.
At the end of that passage, you will say in unison, I do.
I do.
And then I will ask, will you nurture Walt in Christ's holy church, that by your teaching and example, he may be guided to accept God's grace for himself, to profess his faith openly.
Could I stop you right there?
Mother, this is the ceremony that Jillian and I have chosen.
I understand that, Peter. But wouldn't it be better if we pledged to help Walt become a kind person? A tolerant person? Something that we might actually be able to do.
Well, I'm afraid it doesn't work that way, Mrs. Gray.
Mom, can I talk to you for a minute? Be right back.
What are you doing? Just suck it up and say the thing.
It's hypocritical.
Who cares? You're upsetting Jillian, which is upsetting Peter. And by the way, we did this little number at Ned's christening. You didn't say a word.
The world has become a little more real to me since then. There is power in ritual. I would like to get the ritual right. Wickedness and evil. I feel as if I'm in an exorcism.
I know what this is about, Maxine. It has nothing to do with the wording of the ceremony. You're punishing me because I left your son.
Jillian, no one.
I apologize. I will see you at the church on Friday night, whether or not the Gray family chooses to participate.
Thanks so much, Mother.
Why couldn't you just say what she wanted you to say? It's all meaningless crapola anyway. But very, very moving.
3 months ago it was a hardware store. Now it's the People's Church of the Covenant. Doesn't look like any church I've ever seen.
Church is in the eye of the beholder, Maxine.
Well, that's a nice sentiment, Sean. But when rope figures prominently in the worship service, I think it's time to ask some questions.
Well, Beth's desperate. She's 10 years into a life sentence.
And then someone like Earl Morton comes along promising the moon and...
Maybe we should try and get temporary custody on the grounds of imminent danger.
Well, I don't think that Beth would really hurt Scott.
No, the rope belongs to the People's Church of the Covenant.
Maxine?
Alan, what are you doing here?
I'm consulting on a custody case. I wondered if I'd run into you while I was here.
And you have.
I'm Sean Potter. I work with Maxine.
Hi, Alan Foster.
How do you two know each other?
Well, how does anyone know anyone else? We should get to work, Sean, and you have a good day, Alan, and we'll talk later.
Yes, we will.
Maxine's got a boyfriend.
Oh, for pity's sake, Sean.
Who was that handsome man about your age who you clearly didn't want me to meet and with whom you'll be speaking later?
None of your business.
Maxine and that guy sitting in a tree. Kissing. First comes love.
He's my therapist, Sean. You wanted me to go to therapy? I'm going. Are you happy now? Would you like to shout it to the world? Maxine Gray is in therapy!
And not a moment too soon.
Maggie, I know this is very difficult for you. You don't have to speak if you're not up to it.
I want to.
Okay.
Where's Nicole?
She's here, but it's really not proper for you.
Thank you. You help me so much.
How has Nicole helped you?
She understands. I've got control now.
I'm sorry. We have to stop.
I think I'm a terrible mother. My daughter, Amy, recently dispatched almost husband number 2. Peter's wife kicked him out. Vincent's wife left him. What did these 3 people have in common?
Your DNA?
Perhaps I set a bad example. I'm hard on people. I don't suffer fools.
And your children married fools?
No. Well,
Yes.
Jillian says I'm punishing her because she left my son. She may be right. I was never very fond of Vincent's wife. And I could have been nicer to Stu.
So you're responsible for everything, therefore all-powerful?
I'm trying to accept responsibility.
You're trying to make yourself important in your children's lives, which tells me you don't feel important at all.
Oh, I see what we're doing here. This is where I say, I'm getting old. My children don't need me. I'm scared of staring down the void that is the rest of my rapidly shrinking life. Well, this very well may be the winter of my discontent, but winters pass. I'd love to move into a little one-bedroom house with a garden and enjoy the peace and quiet of not being the center of anybody's universe.
Why don't you?
Stu's just such a sweet man. I mean, I know. You see him as a shark, but he was really trying not to be that, and I stomped all over his heart. What kind of a person does that? What?
Can we talk about something other than what a bad person you are for dumping Stu?
Oh? I didn't realize certain topics were off limits.
It's just that I think we've exhausted that topic.
Oh, yeah? What are you, the conversation referee? You got a timer on me?
I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sure there's shades of gray I'm not seeing here.
I cannot believe you're sitting here.
Vanessa, how are you?
Hi. How many times did I try to get you to come here? Do you know what he'd say? We have sushi where I grew up. We called it baked.
Vanessa Jordan, Amy Gray.
Hi.
Hello.
So how are you?
I'm all right.
That's good.
I should let you get back. It was nice meeting you.
You told me this was the first date since your wife died.
It is. She's a friend. Run a support group.
You ever take her out to dinner?
Yes, a couple of times. As friends.
That's it?
She cooked me dinner once. But that wasn't a date either.
Did you sleep with her?
It wasn't a date.
You slept with her, but it wasn't a date?
It was something else.
I'm eating raw fish because I thought this was your first date since your wife died.
It is. We weren't dating. She understands that. I understand that. You're the only one here who seems to be confused.
I do not care. I don't like to be lied to.
You weren't.
This is getting ridiculous. I think I gotta go. Whoa, no way. Sushi. Where's the bathroom? This way.
Excuse us.
So you threw on his shoes, like directly onto his shoes?
Yes. I ruined his Bruno Mogli shoes. Can we move past this point of the story, please?
Do you know how much those things cost?
$600 online. Be nice to me. I'm hungover. I don't know how I'll ever face David again.
That won't be a problem because believe me, you will never see him again.
What on earth is going on? You're taking down the tree. You call someone else? Why would I do that?
Morning, Mrs. Gray. I had one of my guys cut up the tree for firewood. It's stacked at the back. I can recommend a window hanger if you...
No. Thank you.
I also left a bulb catalog for you whenever you're ready. Well, that's it for me. Have a nice day.
Why were you mean to the gardener?
He's a landscape designer, Amy. Try and get it right, for heaven's sake.
Well, see you all at the christening. Don't be late and don't be difficult. I need Jillian to be in a good mood.
You came to the right family.
I'm going to ask her about moving back in.
Oh, Peter, you think that's such a good idea? I mean, the christening is such a big deal. Why not let that go well and then discuss reconciling at another time?
We'll be holding our baby and making promises about how we're going to raise him together. There'll never be a better time.
Mrs. Gray, that's all the time I'm willing to give them. If I've read correctly, you feel that Scott Benfield is in imminent danger because of his mother's involvement with the People's Church of the Covenant?
Yes, Your Honor. And I'm frankly surprised this mother did not choose to come to this hearing and fight for her child.
Obviously, she doesn't care.
I, with respect, would not say that, Your Honor. She's exhausted. She's frightened that she will never have a normal child, but she'd do anything to help him.
Except show up to court. She knew you would be here.
Yes, Your Honor, she did. Oh, my. Your Honor, I need to leave.
Miss Hamilton, your client is asked to address the court.
Yes, Your Honor. Nicole was very disturbed by what we all witnessed yesterday. She'd like to make a brief statement, and then perhaps I could have a conversation with Mr. Zomber.
All right. Miss Phillips?
I didn't know how sick Maggie was. You can't tell that on email, you know? I wanted to say this to Maggie's mom, but I guess I'll say it to you. I'm so sorry. I want Maggie to get better. I will talk to her if you want. I shut the website down last night, and I promised to never...
Nicole, you should stop. Maggie Parsons died an hour ago. Mr. Zomber?
Yes. Your Honor, in light of what has happened, it is likely we'll be filing new charges.
Well, this court has no choice but to adjourn.
Mom!
Hey, sweetie. Hey, you know, the last 3 mornings you haven't eaten breakfast, is that because you weren't hungry or because you have an insane notion that you're fat?
I haven't been hungry. Why? Do you think I'm fat?
No. Oh, no. No, and I'm not saying that you should eat, or that you shouldn't. In fact, we never had this conversation.
Hey. Far find anybody's shoes today?
Bite me.
Ooh, touchy. I'm guessing he didn't defy the odds and call.
Bite me twice.
Amy, do you have any idea where your mother is?
I thought you'd beat me here.
Well, she didn't. We're about to start.
She's not answering her cell, but I'm sure she's on her way.
I said to her 7:30 sharp.
She's only a couple minutes late. Who's that?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's Jeff Hillis, a friend of mine.
I don't know him.
No, but I do. He works at Children's Book World.
You brought a date to Walt's christening?
No.
What is the matter with you?
And he healed all those.
What are you doing to him? Get away from him!
You have no power here.
You couldn't be more of an officer. Get away from him! Get away from him!
Get up. Get up.
He's breathing.
James, behind your back.
You're breathing. Maxine, I don't know what else to do.
Not this. Not this.
I didn't think of it as a date. I am not close to my family. When we got married, I got absorbed into yours, and that's a good thing, and I appreciate it. But I guess this time, I just wanted there to be one person here who knew only me. Can't you understand that?
Have you forgotten how to tell time? We specifically said 7:30.
I'm sorry, Peter. I had to take a child to the hospital.
Oh, and no one else could drive? I told you how important this was.
Peter, it's okay. It's okay. Is that blood?
We can start now.
No, I don't think we should. No, it's all right. I think we should wait a half an hour. Maybe do it another time.
That's not for you to say, Amy.
We can wait a few minutes.
We have waited. Why do you always take their side?
I don't.
Let's begin.
Who will be holding Walt for the blessing?
Maybe Jillian's date should do it.
Can you try and be civil? This is supposed to be a joyous event.
Oh, well, you ruined any chance of that, didn't you? Why didn't you just tell me you were leaving for good instead of ambushing me like this?
Did you listen to a word that I said before? You know what? Never mind. We're all pretending here. Come on, Ned. We're going to the car.
You're calling it off? Jillian? Jillian? Jillian!
Why are you mad at Daddy? I don't want to go.
I'm done.
We should probably reschedule.
You know where to reach me. If there's anything I can do.
Let's go.
How come every time our family goes to church, something embarrassing happens?
Previously on Judging Amy. I'm eating raw fish because I thought this was your first date since your wife died.
It is.
I don't like to be lied to.
You weren't.
Hello.
Oh, hi.
You hear about the tree?
Oh, I'm Ignacio Messina, cultivator of the soil.
You threw up on his shoes, like directly onto his shoes.
Yes. I'm hungover and I don't know how I'll ever face David again.
That won't be a problem because believe me, you will never see him again.
I'm guessing it was a hell of a bad year.
Now, why are we talking about gardens in the middle of winter?
Winter's past, Mrs. Gray. Call me when you're ready to bring this place back to life.
Yes, this is Maxine Gray leaving a message for Mr. Messina. Mr. Messina, you removed my limb. On my tree. Of course, it wasn't a limb on my body. Anyway, I liked your bulbs. I mean, what they're going to turn into, the pictures in the catalog that you left me. So, if you could please give me a call. Oh, my number is 555-0162. And did I say that this is Maxine Gray? Well, I bet you could have figured that out unless you've been removing limbs and showing bulbs all over town this week. Anyway, that's entirely possible.
And so, goodbye then.
What was that?
I was leaving a message with Mr. Messina.
The tree guy?
The landscape designer.
Is the landscape designer in the CIA? Mom, you're out here in the middle of winter on your cell phone, hiding. You sound so nervous you're goofy, and you're talking to the tree guy? The landscape designer, which, by the way, is a tree guy with a big ego.
Amy, how long since you've looked at this yard?
The garden looks as if the person who was taking care of it has died.
Oh, newsflash, Ma, it's winter. It's when things die.
No, winter is when plants sleep. We have a brown evergreen. It's not a good sign.
We just have a few bad spots. I mean, look at this little guy. He's thriving.
That little guy is a weed.
Okay, here's what I don't get. What jerk decided that vines that grow easily are called weeds and you have to pay somebody to pull them up?
Amy, I know I sold you this house, but I'm taking back the yard.
What?
I'm reclaiming the yard of this house. Because clearly you know nothing about water or vitamins or pruning or ordering bulbs before it's too late.
Well, there's a good reason for that.
Which is?
That some people are born to garden and some people are born to not garden.
That's precisely my point.
Fine. Okay, fine. You win. The dead yard, it's all yours.
Mr. Messina, another thing. I like red.
Judge Wells, I'm thoroughly confused.
Do you want me to run through it again?
Let me try. Judge Summers ran over his wife's cat.
Backing out of the driveway.
They're at the animal ER. Things are not looking good for Whiskey.
Whiskers.
Whatever. So he needs to take a few days off, and you want me to fill in?
You don't seem to be confused at all.
The confusing part is why you would come to me with my record in the criminal court. We've talked about this.
Yes, but I don't have the resources to eliminate you from the pool of judges available to fill in emergency slots in criminal. And this is a safe case.
Define safe.
Well, if the opportunity exists for you to self-destruct, I can't find it. There's no juvenile being tried as an adult, no murder victim, absolutely nothing inflammatory. Although it is an arson case.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, you know, if you want me to do this, I'll do the best I can.
I have complete faith.
You do?
No. Actually, I'm a gambler. And the wife made me give up Atlantic City.
Morning, Maxine. I'm still waiting to hear on the Estrada ruling. And do you remember... What are you doing?
I am looking for my car keys. I think I may have thrown them away.
Accidentally or in a fit of pique?
Have you seen any fits of pique coming from this corner this morning?
I'm not sure I'd notice anyone unless you set the corner on fire. Hey, do you remember a boy named Darwin Thompson?
Darwin Thompson. I was his caseworker 2 years ago when he was in foster care. He had just moved home with his single mother when he assaulted a teacher. Stitches were involved, 7, I believe. And Darwin was sent
to the Connecticut Juvenile Training School.
And yet you don't know where your car keys are.
Irony's never lost on me, Sean. What is the problem with Darwin? Has he threatened to guard again?
No, he's due to be released, and the parole staff is waiting for a recommendation regarding placement.
Well, if you can find a foster family who will have him, that would be the best bet for him. And the second best would be a group home.
Darwin's mother wants him to come home.
Darwin's mother, who was staying away for weeks at a time with her boyfriend, leaving Darwin alone with a key around his neck and a cabinet full of canned ravioli.
Well, she claims she's new and improved. I need your gut.
Sean, for the sake of your social life, please know that not all women would be flattered by that statement. I will go as soon as I find my car keys.
Thank you. Maxine?
Thank you. I will absorb the cost of the milk that I bought this morning, and the unidentified lavender substance is Kimberly's.
Well, I don't care how it bodes. Look, raw fish and hot wine are a stupid combination that I didn't invent, and I told him that...
I've continued most of your cases, and the rest I've managed to put on other dockets.
Thank you.
Bruce, one quick question. If, say, a woman ruined a man's shoes on their first date, what are the chances he'll ask her out again?
How'd you ruin David McLaren's shoes?
She
It
barfed
doesn't
on
matter.
him.
Have fun in criminal court.
Oh, come on. Be a friend.
Sneakers?
Italian leather.
No.
First outing.
You're toast.
Well, tell Donna. She's the one who's so heavily invested.
This is my theory. You can't throw up on a guy's shoes until after he's in love with you. And even then, it's iffy.
I can't find the flaw in that. You're gonna be late for court.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I should not be fraternizing with members of the opposite sex.
So you keep saying.
Because it's the truth.
What if it had been sneakers?
Can we go to work?
Heather!
Stranger.
What are you doing here?
I missed you. I left you a couple of messages.
I haven't even heard them. I've been here for the last 24 hours and the end is not in sight. Remember those days? Oh, sorry. I got about 2 minutes.
It'll only take 2 minutes. Listen, we were friends before anything else, right?
Okay, that does not sound like the beginning of a 2-minute conversation.
I'm trying to say that if you want to dump me, I wish you just say it. Don't do the drifting away, I'm so busy thing.
I am not making excuses. I'm working a 3-day shift. You're the last person I should have to explain that to.
So you don't want me to disappear?
Yeah, I do. But not forever, just a little while, 2 days.
Darwin has not had an easy time here, Mrs. Gray. I'm his counselor, and I can tell you with great authority, he's got some anger issues, information processing problems, oppositional defiance.
You're saying he's angry, he doesn't listen, and he hates authority figures. Are there many young men in here who don't share those problems?
No, but most of them have had the self-restraint or the good sense not to get into fights while they're here.
I see nothing here that says Darwin instigated these incidents.
No, but he is the first to escalate. And everyone here knows you push Darwin, he'll knock your teeth out.
Mr. Avolio, as Darwin's caseworker, I'd like to know what you recommend regarding Darwin's next placement.
Well, you can place him wherever you want to place him. In 6 months, he's going to end up back here anyway.
In the matter of the State v. Harbert, docket number 03CR5893, Judge Amy Gray presiding. All rise.
Mr. Edgars, what a surprise to see you here.
Judge Gray, I was expecting Judge Summers.
Yes, me too. Well, you know, I'm filling in, and yeah. Well, we're gonna have to discuss this with the state's attorney. Where's the state's attorney?
He called. Claimed traffic problems. Unoriginal, therefore probably true. He'll be here in a few minutes, I would think.
Court's pardon, I called from the road. 6-car pileup. Asylum Avenue was just crazy.
Speaking of six-car pileups. Okay, counsel, approach the bench. Okay, here's the deal. I am filling in for Judge Summers, who probably does not have an outside-the-courtroom relationship with either one of you. I, on the other hand, have known defense counsel Mr. Eggers for a period of 15 years. I haven't seen him in 5, maybe, but he is my ex-husband's best friend.
Was. We're no longer.
Oh, really? Oh, we'll have to talk. After the case, I mean. Anyway, just to keep things interesting, Mr. McLaren and I are, oh, I don't know what we are. We have pubescent children who have a relationship that we find troubling and attention-worthy. We shared one dinner that did not go well, and footwear was destroyed. Okay, that's it. Any questions?
Is my footwear safe?
Don't feed her any sushi.
Any other real questions?
No.
No, Your
Honor.
Okay. Well, in neither case do I find cause for bias. However, if either one of you is uncomfortable, I will recuse myself.
The defense has no problem, is thrilled to be in Judge Gray's court, and is ready to proceed.
The state is equally thrilled, Your Honor.
Okay, gentlemen, let's proceed. Back to your seats, and Marshall, you can let in the jury.
Mr. Messina, I left you a message.
Yes, I know. That's why I'm here.
I'm sure we could do this on the phone.
Well, you don't seem to be very good on the phone. Your limbs, my bulbs.
Well, I'm usually very good on the phone. It's a large part of my job, and I was having a bad phone day.
I see. Are you gonna invite me in?
I'm sorry. Won't you come in?
Who lives here?
Myself and my daughter and her daughter, Lauren. She's 11.
Ah, well, that explains it.
Explains what?
The confusion. If I were more polite, I would say the blend. But it seems as if this room was thrown together by warring nations.
Well, that's not altogether incorrect. I have marked some pictures in the catalog you left. Shall we look at it?
Did you dog ear?
Yes.
Well, that'll do. Show me one thing you would run back in this room to save if the house was on fire.
Well, let's see. Why?
I'm trying to design your garden. Usually I'm very intuitive, but you are Fort Knox. And this decor is not helping me.
Mr. Messina, let me tell you what I had in mind. I thought that I would tell you what kinds of flowers I like and what colors, and you would order them and plant them and then tell me when to water them.
You can get a high school kid to do that at a much better rate.
Perhaps I should do that.
You could. Should is another matter. Do you not notice that your soul is starving to death? Mrs. Graham, I'm a very busy man. You have to make a decision. Do you want an errand boy to plant perennials, or do you want me to plant you a garden for your soul?
I believe that I would like the latter.
You've chosen wisely, as the man said. I'll pick you up Thursday evening at 8 o'clock.
Why?
To gain some insight. Wear something festive.
Ta-da!
Ow! God! Never do that to a guy who's been up for 20 hours and treated 4 gunshot wounds.
Sorry. Knowing you're stuck here, I thought you could use a nice hot meal. How does meatloaf and mashed potatoes sound?
Like my mother is in town. What is this?
What is what?
I said I would call you when I had some free time.
Hey, I'm sorry I bothered you. I just wanted to bring you some food. I didn't realize it would cause you a problem.
Heather, wait. I'm sorry. I am very tired and dumb. That was very thoughtful.
Thanks. I'll get out of your way. Enjoy your meatloaf.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Gray. I'm just so late for work.
Miss Thompson, I have left you a number of messages.
I know. I've been working crazy hours, earning overtime for when Darwin comes home.
The counselor at Darwin's juvenile training school is worried about Darwin's anger and level of aggression.
He's gonna be fine. I know that. See, before I was the problem. I read a book. Darwin was what they call the indicator, but I was the problem.
Did this same book explain the human cost involved in choosing your boyfriend over your son's welfare?
No, Mrs. Gray. I figured that out by watching Darwin go to jail. What I did was wrong. Darwin was growing up so fast. But when I looked at him, he still looked like a little boy. All those boys did, even when they got bigger and meaner.
If Darwin is allowed to come home, what will be different?
Oh, I know what to look for now. And I'm gonna be here, all over that boy. And I talked to my boss, cutting back my hours at work.
With a growing 15-year-old boy at home, won't you need that extra money?
I got Darwin a job at the restaurant. He'll start out as a busboy, so he'll be earning money and he'll be off the streets. I gotta go.
Miss Thompson, here's my card. I'd like you to give me a call.
Mrs. Gray, we can talk till Judgment Day, but nothing is gonna convince me that Darwin is better off somewhere with people who don't love him.
There had already been 3 suspicious fires, houses under construction at the Valley Pines estate. So we set up a surveillance unit outside of the construction site at 22 Tranquility Lane.
Now, you testify that you saw my client, Thomas Harbert, standing on that property. Were you aware that he lived in the neighborhood?
No. We just thought he shouldn't be sneaking around at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Your Honor, could you please instruct the witness to simply answer my question?
Yes, Detective, this is not your first dance. Consider yourself warned.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, you arrested my client for arson because he was on the property and he had what? Can of gasoline?
No.
Pack of matches?
Objection, Your Honor. Badgering.
Overruled.
Detective Farber, did my client have anything on his person that could be used to ignite a fire?
No, but he could have.
Detective.
No, he didn't.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Redirect, Your Honor.
Mm-hmm.
Detective Ferber, you testified that you saw the defendant using a can of green spray paint to write on the sign that was posted on that property, right?
That's correct.
And this posted sign was put there as a plea from the property owner not to burn the property.
Objection, Your Honor. Characterization, Mr. McLaren's opinion is not relevant.
Your Honor, that sign has already been entered into evidence.
Sustained. Interpretation should be saved for summations.
Would you please tell us what the accused was writing on that sign? To be interpreted during summation.
You cannot control pure hearts. CLNL.
CLNL.
The Coalition to Let Nature Live. It's a known eco-terrorist group.
I agree with them. Doesn't mean I set any fires.
Mr. Harbert, sit down.
Detective, can you tell us why you're skeptical of the defendant's story? That he went down to Tranquility Lane at 2 o'clock in the morning with a can of green spray paint in 20-degree weather to exercise his constitutional right to free speech.
That's all I did. And it's not illegal.
Mr. Eggers. Go ahead, Detective.
Like you just laid it out, it didn't smell right.
Meaning, he gave you a story that someone would give you if they were on the spot at 2 o'clock in the morning when they weren't prepared with an alibi and it came out 12 kinds of stupid.
Objection, Your Honor. Leading the witness and doing what he does.
Sustained, Mr. McLaren.
Yeah.
Dial it back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mama, making popcorn, do you? Mom? In here.
Was I on drugs when I bought this?
No, Jillian was. She said you needed more color in your life.
Well, that's a nice thought, but these colors?
What are you doing anyway?
Well, I'm just, spring cleaning.
In January?
Well, you know, early bird and all that. Amy, you are acquainted with my wardrobe. Do I have anything you would describe as festive?
You're going somewhere festive?
No, I'm just dividing my wardrobe by categories. I don't need a reason. It's not a, when I'm old I shall wear purple sort of thing. It's when I am this age I will have a festive section in my closet.
This is your festive section.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My mom told me you're the one who decides where I'm gonna live and when they're gonna bust me out of here.
Actually, the parole officer decides, but I will be giving my recommendation.
It's kind of a no-brainer. I want to stay with my mom.
That's what she wants too, Darwin. I've looked at your file. I'm concerned about your anger issues.
I went to those classes here. Anger management and all.
Yes. And still you managed to throw a plate of food in a counselor's face and stab another inmate with a pencil.
That counselor was dissing me. And the guy that I stabbed, I had two choices. Stab him or be his bitch.
I think you had another choice. You could have reported him.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that how you ended up here in the first place? Getting angry, lashing out, hurting someone?
You have a real nice way of saying how you think it is. But you don't know. Because when you walk out of here and them TVs shut down and the lights cut off, it's like a real bad prison story. But it's happening to me. So don't tell me about my choices. You don't even know my choices.
Sincerely? See you around? Keep your feet away from drunks? What?
I think just Amy.
You got a minute for kitty court? You need to sign this continuance.
Of course.
Tell me to go out and buy him a new pair of shoes.
Well, you're Mr. Principled. It was the right thing to do.
If you're replacing property, not if you're trying to get him to ask you out again.
It's not... You're not...
Judge Gray did indeed buy the shoes to replace destroyed property, and she wrote a note explaining that. And she is now officially finished with all members of the male species for at least 6 months. I made that last part up.
Well, it's true. No, I'm done with men forever. I'm especially done with David McLaren and his enigmatic eyebrows.
David McLaren does this thing with his eyebrows that she finds annoying, especially when he's trying a case in front of her, which he currently is.
Isn't that a problem?
No, because the best man for my first wedding is the defense counsel.
Surrounded by friends. What a fuzzy feeling.
Bruce, you're a guy. Translate that eyebrow thing.
You know, as much as I enjoy discussing David McLaren's eyebrows, I feel the testosterone beginning to leak out of my ears. You're gonna be late in 2 minutes.
Oh, hell. Hey, listen, will you do me a favor and just give this to his receptionist?
Should I ask her about the eyebrows?
No!
Maxine Gray, is that a fashion magazine?
Yes. There's a very fascinating article about something very current.
Have you been sniffing Whiteout?
Sean, if you asked me to go someplace with you, and you told me to wear something festive, what would you have in mind?
I cannot fathom a safe way to answer that question. Wait, did somebody ask you out on a date?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You see, first this tree smashed through our window. And, well, actually, we could just skip to the part where we're in my living room. And he accused me of having a malnourished soul. I have an appointment to go to.
Dude, good news. It's meatloaf.
Yes, Lloyd, you're right. That is phenomenal news. Heather brought that by.
Man, I thought you dropped that habit.
Not dropped, just put on hold.
The last time I heard a name, she had her lips in your cousin's mouth.
Thank you for that trip down memory lane. But that was just retribution for Lily.
What, so you two in love again?
I don't know what we are. But she keeps showing up.
Okay, then I am just what you need. No, here is a page from the Book of Lloyd. You gotta cut her loose, kick it to the curb, and put the close sign on Kyletown.
You have never dumped anyone in your entire life.
Okay, that's beside the point. The point is you gotta drop some science on her. She thinks you're her boo. And look, we got new nurses coming in every day. You can't take yourself out of that game.
Yeah, Lloyd, put your shirt on.
Mrs. Gray, hi. I'm sorry. I'm on my way to work again.
That's all right. This won't take very long.
Darwin, baby, I can't believe it. You're home.
Yeah, I'm home.
Your Honor, I would like to enter into evidence an editorial written by Mr. Harbert. We who have built modest homes at the edge of the forest must stop the pigs who care nothing for the sanctity of this land. We must sacrifice anything, everything to save this blessed space. And those who stand against us will pay deeply and dearly. Mr. Harbert, the people whose homes you burned lost upwards of $3 million. Was that dearly and deeply enough for you?
Objection, Your Honor. Presupposes guilt. Argumentative is standard bag of tricks, like I said before.
Your Honor, the standard trick here is to accuse me of having standard tricks. If you were here all the time, you'd see that.
Attorneys, approach the bench, please. Okay, Mr. McLaren.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
No, I want to hear the everybody picks on me speech.
It's a stall tactic. He's trying to break my rhythm. It's like what pitchers do to batters. You follow baseball at all?
Excuse me, I'm employing stall tactics. I'm not the one talking.
Attorneys, listen carefully. Go back to your desks and let's finish this case. And then you can go outside, you can beat each other up, you can talk baseball or whatever the hell guys do. Go.
Mr. Harbert, let's pretend for the purpose of argument that I buy into your preposterous story.
Your Honor.
Your story about which I have absolutely no opinion whatsoever. The part that gets me is why would a self-respecting, law-abiding, eco-terrorist impersonator such as yourself go to the lengths...
Objection!
Grounds.
I don't know. Snidely-ness. How can you not see
Lawyers,
this?
approach the bench. Mr. Eggers, bear with me for a moment. Mr. McLaren, you are an envelope pusher and you know it. You are being especially obnoxious today. I'm not exactly sure why. I hope you're not trying to take advantage of our alleged friendship, because sitting here right now, I don't care if our kids are cavorting. I don't care if you paid for coffee and sushi. I don't care about your shoes. You're just another attorney in my courtroom. And if you don't shape up immediately, I'm going to rethink my original position regarding the prior relationships with both of you, and I'm going to declare a mistrial. And you don't want that, do you?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Mr. Eggers, anything?
No, Your Honor.
Get back to work.
Hey, are you back?
Yeah, thank God.
Exciting day?
Yeah, well, the state put away an arsonist, and I did the judicial equivalent of throwing up on David McLaren's shoes, which he deserved.
They did the right thing.
That's why I hate criminal. You're not there.
Judge Gray, messages? There's one from David McLaren. He said he'll pick you up at 7:30. He knows a great Italian place, very dark, in another county. Does that make sense to you?
He's a weeble. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
You know what? I just said something really nice about you, and here you are making fun of my...
Your guy, who you shouldn't be dating?
We're not dating. And P.S., you're not one to talk.
Boy, look at the time.
Yeah. Why don't you go home to your own disastrous personal life? I'm sure little Miss Wrong for you is waiting for your call.
At least you didn't throw up on my shoes.
So funny.
Velvet.
What?
Velvet's festive. Elegant festive. Winter festive. And it's nice to the touch if any touching were to occur.
Why, Sean?
Okay, see, that's why I didn't want to answer you in the first place.
Maxine, line 3.
Maxine Gray. Yes, Darwin, what is it? All right. All right, calm down. I will be there.
What was that?
Darwin Thompson, he's sounded agitated, wants me to come over right away.
Do you want me to go with you?
No.
Call me.
Darwin? In here. Man, you sure got here fast.
You sound... What is going on here?
Oh, it's my mom's birthday, and I wanted to surprise her. Her friends from the restaurant are bringing her home, and I knew she'd like to have you here to celebrate and thank you.
But there's an ambulance.
Oh, Miss Cocker next door, she has asthma, but really she's just lonely. My mom says that she calls the paramedics almost every Friday night.
Maxine Gray?
In here.
Everything under control here?
Yes, I have an overly protective boss. But Darwin and I could not be better.
Then you don't need me.
Unless you'd like to stay for a piece of birthday cake.
No, maybe next year. Good night.
Sorry.
Did you think I had done something?
No. Well, maybe. You have to understand, Darwin, in my job, I see terrible things. And it leads me to expect the worst.
That's not what you're gonna get out of me.
It's a good-looking cake.
Yeah, I bought it from the market. Does it look like it came from the day-old table?
Well, it looks, perfect, actually.
That's what I thought.
Are you kidding me?
Short notice. I know. I'm sorry. But like you said, I was particularly obnoxious today.
You're not angry with me?
For doing your job? Just for the record, I was only this much more obnoxious than usual.
Well, that's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got that. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. Can we move on?
To a dark place in another county?
Thought it would be a good night to keep a low profile.
Yeah, about that. Do you really think it's a good idea that we're doing this?
I don't think anybody ever finds out the answer to that until it's too late. I asked you out to dinner, you accepted. That sushi fiasco doesn't count. You owe me.
Okay. Okay, I'll be ready.
Good. Oh, hey. Thanks for the shoes.
Hey, can I be honest?
Hmm?
I hate those shoes.
Yeah? Me too.
Mr. Messina.
Mrs. Gray. Perfect.
You're right on time. I appreciate punctuality. It's a dying courtesy, don't you find?
Well, are you ready?
I'm ready to go wherever.
Well, then let's be off.
I haven't slept, but I'm clean.
Come in. Thanks.
Careful, don't strain yourself smiling.
Just don't know what they mean.
They mean thank you for the mashed potatoes and the meatloaf.
I'll bet they don't. I already don't like whatever you're about to say.
Well, that's not possible because I don't know. Look, if I were following the big book closely, I would not be associating with, much less dating, my former drinking buddy.
I hate that book.
I know. And that's our second problem.
Everybody should just be glad I'm not ingesting anything stronger than diet soda. And get off me with the rules and books. Breaking rules is one of my addictions, and I am never going to be a textbook anything.
And see, that's our third problem.
What?
You get that feisty look in your eye, and then you do that thing with your voice, and then I don't give a damn about rules number 1 and 2 anymore.
So what if for tonight we just concentrate on problem number 3?
Okay, what's the worst pickup line you've ever used?
The worst successful one?
Unqualified.
I'm sure I wasn't sober enough to remember. How about the one I couldn't believe worked? Do you believe in love at first sight, or do I need to walk by again?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I bet that led to a meaningful relationship.
It was my wife. She said I nearly blew it with that first line. What about you? What's the worst line anybody ever used on you?
Do you want to go halvesies on an illegitimate child? Okay, all right, serious question. Scars, tattoos?
You first.
I'm flawless.
You know, I believe you.
What about that?
What?
Angry brutally with a knife?
Actually, I've used that story, yeah.
I think this date is going better than our first date.
The Hindenburg went better than our first date. I remember my worst line. So in the morning, do I call you on the telephone or just poke you in the ribs with my elbow?
Did that work on anybody?
Not yet.
Okay, what's next? Coffee? Dessert menus? Check, please.
Your call.
Coffee and dessert menu?
Good call.
Viene la migra, pero no me importa. Yo sigo para allá, sigo para acá, buscando mi chamba.